August 5th, 2025, Angels Camp City Council meeting. Thank you all for attending, and roll call. Michelle?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get our screens working.
It's okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know you weren't ready, I apologize.
It's okay, it's okay. Councilmember Behill.
Here.
Vice Mayor Sherrado.
Here.
Mayor Shemente.
Present.
And Councilmember Brolio.
Here.
Please stand and join me in the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Michelle, do you need a few
No,
moments?
go ahead. I'm gonna mess here. But we have 2 people online.
Okay. Oh, we do? Okay, good, good. So first item is the approval of the agenda as posted. Pam, I'd like to move public comment up. It's at the end of the agenda and I'd like to move it up.
Yes, sir.
That's the one change I have. Does anyone else have any changes in the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as amended. Second.
Any other discussion? Any discussion from the public? Anyone online, Pam? Excuse me, Pam.
No,
Michelle?
it's okay. We are good.
We're good, okay. Roll call, vote.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Behill.
Aye.
Sherrado.
Aye.
Shemente.
Aye.
And Brolio.
Okay, so we're gonna move into public comment and then we'll do the consent agenda. Public comment. The public may address the council on any item of public interest, not otherwise on the agenda, that is within the jurisdiction of the city. No action may be taken. Matters to be addressed may be referred to city staff or placed on a subsequent meeting agenda. Speakers are limited to 5 minutes per person. Is there any public comment? Got to turn the mic on.
Okay.
Thank you.
Patricia Harkins, I live in the city of Angels. Seeing town today, they're putting in the sidewalks. Has anybody had the forethought to have the frog, the bronze?
The plaques.
The plaques. Yeah.
Okay, ready, so if we coordinate with Caltrans, those can get dropped in sidewalk sites as the sidewalks are getting put in without having the city to dig it up and put in a brand new square for every frog, whatever plaque that they want to put in. Has anybody had the foresight to have them ready to drop them when these sidewalks go in? It makes common sense to me. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, I hope they have the plaques ready so that they can just drop them, and the cost is like nil because Caltrans is putting the sidewalks in at their cost, and we can drop the plaques in at no cost.
Okay.
So that's my comment because I haven't seen it or anything at all. And I guess you guys knew ahead of time this was gonna happen.
Right. Well, thank you. Thank you for that comment. We can check with staff on that, if there are any new plaques that can be placed. Thank you. Thank you. Any other public comment?
Oh, I didn't turn the mic off.
It's okay.
Sorry.
You can turn the mic on. Michelle, anyone online
No.
for public comment? Okay. Well, then we'll close public comment and go on to the consent agenda. We have 4 items. Item A, approve draft minutes of July 15th. Item B, adopt resolution number 25-61, hereby approving the execution of the cover agreement between the city and state of California Department of Transportation as it pertains to project number 1-H010, also known as the State 4 and Highway 49 roundabout.
Where are you reading? I'm sorry.
It's the
4B.
Consent agenda.
the 4B,
Today.
the consent agenda.
No, I was looking at
Oh, I'm
4C.
sorry. Okay.
It's okay.
My eyes were,
It's okay. It's okay.
sorry.
We're on 4C, adopt resolution number 25-54, thereby formalizing the implementation of a holdover period while awaiting the filing of a vacant citywide board, commission, or committee position. And finally, item D on the consent agenda, discuss, consider, and adopt resolution numbers 58, 59, and 60, thereby approving the American with Disabilities Act, grievance and complaint procedure, the acceptance and approval of the ADA self-evaluation, the designation of a citywide ADA liaison, and the designation of a citywide DBE liaison officer. Does anyone want to pull any of those items?
Not because I want to discuss it or pull item D, but it does say discuss and consider. So I think we have to pull it to offer
Okay.
discussion and consideration.
Is any other council member?
Nope.
Does anyone from the public want to pull any of those items? Michelle, is there anyone online?
No. They're online, but nobody has.
But no one has any. Okay, so is there a motion to approve for A, B, and C?
So moved.
There's been a motion
Second.
and a second. Any other discussion? Any discussion from the public? Any discussion online, Michelle?
No.
Hearing none, there's been a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Behill,
Aye.
Dorado. Aye. Shemente.
Aye.
And Romeo.
You betcha.
Okay, moving on to 4D, discuss, consider, and adopt resolution numbers 58, 59, and 60. Pam,
Mr. Mayor, we will have our city engineer, Anna Satori, do the presentation.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council, Mayor Story, city engineer. So what you have before you for discussion and consideration is some formalities that are required of the city for receipt of federal funds is essentially what this goes back to. And a couple of things, we have an ADA grievance and complaint procedure. One was drafted last year for, it never made it to the council for adoption. So this is filling in a gap that was identified with last year's self-evaluation. And then also identifying the city administrator as the ADA liaison and the DBE. ADA, Americans with Disability Act, DBE is Disadvantaged Business Enterprises Liaison. So City Administrator Pam would be responsible for signing documents related to those programs. So it's a formality, it's a requirement for us to continue to get federal funds.
and will the council see a copy of that self-report, the self-study?
Absolutely, yeah.
Does it specify specific areas that we have to improve, or what is the nature of that report?
Let's put a copy of it.
I don't mean to put you on the
So,
spot.
yeah, no, it goes through and it's, because we have less than 50 employees,
Right.
it's less significant as a bigger city. But yeah, we go through and evaluate certain programs, online resources, the city council meetings are hearing aids provided. There's a lot of just ADA considerations for public entities that we go through and
Okay,
document how we're addressing those and where we need to follow up.
okay, so it's more ADA in terms of staff and city as opposed to,
It's not like physical.
not
improvements.
physical. Okay.
Right. Not like our sidewalks where we have to
Right.
improve the ramps and stuff like that for projects.
Thank you. Any other questions? Any questions from the public? Anyone online, Michelle? Yeah. Pam, my only comment is, when you hear the presentation and you read the backup, it feels like these are routine items, yet these are the first. And so, it might behoove us to just add them to the regular agenda so we can just click through them. I mean, now that we know this, that it's an annual requirement, and the Caltrans one, there is no money that we're gonna expend. But I just, as I read the agenda, I thought, and people have the opportunity to pull, so I know that. But I just want us to be cognizant of what a consent agenda should look like, and it should be routine. And while I'm repeating myself, I understand now that these are routine, but let's just give some thought to that. I don't need a response, I'm just making a comment. So is there a motion to approve item D?
Second.
Yeah. Any other comment from the public? Anyone online?
No.
Okay, vote.
Kehoe,
Aye.
Sharada. Aye. Shemente.
Aye.
And Robeo.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you. Okay, we're moving on to action items. A, first of all, I want to thank all three of our candidates who responded to this opening. And thank you for showing an interest not only in city council, but in our city and helping to move our city forward in a positive direction. So the city council will facilitate the interview process to fill the currently vacant city council seat previously occupied by former city council member Isabel Mancata. We have 3 interviewees, Michael Zilke, Mary Kelly, and Kara Scott. Mary Kelly, we are going to interview by phone, and what we're going to do is ask the 2 of you I'll walk you out, and then we'll interview Mary, I'll come back and pick up Mike, and then we'll interview you last, Kara. And then the council will deliberate.
Okay,
You're thinking you had sorted out, yeah.
Can't stay here.
Got a lot of good places.
You don't have to wait, you can't stay here.
That's right, you don't have to leave it. Yes.
I didn't steal it.
They need to move all the way
Yeah,
up to the
okay.
end, to move all the way to the end instead of looking at the meeting.
Turn the TV on.
Good seating and watching football.
I missed the last inning of the Little League World Series game, Texas against Alabama. And they were tied.
So we're gonna get Mary on the phone.
Mary, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
So,
Oh, am I on?
yes, good,
You are.
yeah, good evening, Mary.
Okay. I can barely hear that, though.
So maybe you'll have to repeat the questions.
Okay, wait. Can I say something first? I first want to say hello to Mayor and council members. You can all hear me?
Yes.
Yes,
we
Hi,
can.
Mary.
Okay. Well, I want to say that I have a brief opening statement, if I may, and hopefully this will answer any questions you have.
Okay.
Sure, go ahead, Mary.
Oh, is it okay?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm having some difficulty with this. Okay, for me, holding public service is an act of service to the community, and my service would be for all residents of Angels Camp, not just for those who share my views or those who voted for me. I think with my experience, I think with my experience working in local government and knowing the Brown Act and other governmental policies, I bring a fresh perspective to the council. Over 800 citizens voted for me in last November's election, and after Councilmember Moncada resigned, I received texts and phone calls asking, hello?
You're fine.
You're getting fine.
Okay, asking if I was going to put my application in. I feel that these friends and citizens are
Go ahead, Mary.
I feel if these friends and citizens are giving this trust and support, this is the right choice for me. I was giving a little background that I haven't given before. I was directly involved in the introduction of the transit system in Calaveras County. The director, planner, and myself at COG developed transit rates, scheduling stops, and routes throughout the county, and obviously we have a transit system today. And I worked with the COG director, Caltrans, the city and county officials on the planning and development of the Angels Camp bypass. This plan was already in the works when I started working at COG in 1998 and came to completion in 2009. I was then working as Director of Administrative Services for the city. With the bypass in place, it was a perfect time to lobby local Caltrans personnel and District 10 officials to allow the city to use the bypass as a detour route, permitting the city to close Highway 49 through the historic district for special events such as Christmas Parade, Wild West Day, etc. In the past, Caltrans only allowed Highway 49 to be closed for very short periods. This lobbying was effective and
No feedback so far.
Mary,
I'm sorry, what?
it is. I don't know if it is, I'm sorry. The city's infrastructure includes all essential systems and facilities that allow the smooth flow of the city's day-to-day activities, including facilities such as roads, water, and sewer. I do understand the role of city council, and it's to be the voice of the residents, to make informed decisions that benefit the entire community, and to enhance transparency and accountability. And I'm eager to learn more about the challenges to the city and contribute to solutions. Okay, thank you for allowing me that time to say that.
Thank you, Mary. Does any council members have any questions of Mary?
So are we asking, just each ask a question and then we have to make sure it's the same question?
The same question,
for
yes, yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what did you ask?
So Scott, do you have a question for Mary?
I think she's answered my question. My question, Mary, I think you've already answered it very well, is what personal and or professional experiences have you had which you believe prepares you for an appointment as a city council member, and in what ways? So maybe you can talk about the in what ways. You've certainly done a good job already of describing your years of experience.
Speaking of my experience, I was very fortunate to start out with the council governments. It was a newly formed transportation department, and I was there for over 10 years, and the bypass was going, and this, and I met a lot of, it was just meeting all Caltrans, everything, and I was all, I did the budget, and I was recruited by the city to come work for them when Judy King retired, and it was great, and all the experience I had with budget and minutes and council all fit perfectly in with the city, and I did accomplish a few things that I was proud of. Like I said, the bypass, that was sort of fun to talk to Caltrans about that, and also I just think that I have a wealth of experience from my past that we work well on this, to work with you guys.
All right, thank you.
Thanks,
Caroline?
Hi, Mary, it's Caroline. My question for you is that you wrote down that one of your top 3 concerns for the city was infrastructure improvement. Can you expand on that?
Honestly, I wrote infrastructure because everybody talks about infrastructure. I do know that there are things that need to be worked on within the city, and when I worked at the city, that was a main priority. I don't know, I don't want to sound really stupid in this, but in every city, infrastructure is a number 1 priority. And so, I can't really expand on it. I should, but I won't, so.
Okay,
I'm sorry,
That's
Caroline.
okay. That's okay. Thanks, Mary.
Thanks, Mary. Mary, this is Mike. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. How are you, Mike?
Thank you. I'm fine. Thank you. Mary, how would you define your role as a city council member? And more specifically, how would you define that role with respect to staff?
I think let me think on this for a second. I really loved working for the city, and when I was there, I think I was really well liked. I always listened to what people, the employees wanted, and their needs, and tried to work with people. And I think with the city council, I would do the same thing. My role would be, in this case, I've never been a council member, so it would be taking direction from you guys. I know a lot of city council members. I worked with so many of them, but it's a different thing from being on that side and me being on the other side. So I'm not trying to, ground this, really, I'm not, but I think I could learn a lot in different ways. Once you get behind that chair, and it's a lot different than what I would think it is. If that answers your question.
Thank you, Mary.
Good.
Alvin?
Is that all you had?
That's all.
Hi, Hi, Mary, this is Alvin.
Yeah, we can.
Hi,
I guess my first question would be asking about, do you support growth or development in the City of Angels? And if you do or don't, please explain your position.
I'm sorry, I couldn't get that question. Could you repeat that?
I sure can. I said, do you support growth and development in the City of Angels? Please explain your position either way.
I'm not sure how I would explain it, but I do support growth.
Okay.
I've seen it grow in so many good directions, and that's the whole idea of the council. I've seen, some really good things happening. I'd like to see the downtown grow because everybody likes a historic district, or something like that. And we've got some good restaurants and things are growing. So I really support it. I'm also one of those that says, whoa, let's watch what we do, and that's what the council's for. Certain things I haven't really seen, to be honest. I haven't seen any kind of growth that I'm a little against. I may be out of it, but I haven't seen anything. I just really enjoy the fact that we get some like restaurants and some shops and stuff here, and I'm sorry that they closed down some of them, but otherwise I do support it. I support limited growth. I don't know what the word is. I'm not, what I'm thinking. It's not limited growth, but I do support growth.
Okay, thank you. Gentlemen.
I think we'll round robin.
Round robin, go for it. Yep.
Scott?
Let's see. Yeah, I hadn't planned on doing 2 questions here, but so Mary, along the growth lines a little bit, what do you see are some of the biggest opportunities for the City of Angels? What is intelligent growth?
Gosh.
I'm asking because I don't necessarily know.
I was just going to say I'm not real sure. I mean, you're hitting me with questions that I don't know. It's not something I've really thought about, and maybe that's what I need to do, and maybe that's like intelligent growth. I can just give you all but I think intelligent growth is I hate the word smart growth because everybody uses that thing, but it's a smart way to make it retain its small town feel without going crazy. I mean, that's sort of intelligent growth, but I don't know how to do it. That's maybe I could learn. I don't know. That's something I should learn. I mean, if I was council member, I don't know. So I'm sorry, I'm not a good answer to that.
I think you answered it fairly well. You want to see growth, but you don't want to see a loss of lifestyle, and that's the balance that we're all trying to achieve.
That is so good. Thank you, Scott.
No problem.
Hi, Mary, it's Caroline again. So what did you do to prepare for this interview?
Oh gosh. I talked to a lot of people, not a lot, but a lot. And I started looking at Angels past minutes and, City Council past minutes, and I started, I didn't go and ask other things. I do have friends that come to me about certain things that they don't like about the city, and so I sort of took that in my head and thought, okay, this is a good thing, I can bring it up, but I read some minutes and I liked how the city was doing things. I preparing for it. I was very, very nervous, which again I am, but I don't know. I didn't do anything that. Wait a minute, I don't want to say that. I got on the website. I started looking around. I started talking to people, and that's about all I did.
Okay, thank you.
Mary, this is Mike.
Okay.
Mary, what is your definition of compromise?
That's a hard question. I think compromise is when you give and take, and you listen to someone's point of view, and in with yours and see where you can come out. And you work with someone and you compromise, you just work with them, and you don't take your vision or your truth as what it is. You have to really understand someone else and work with them. That's all.
Thank you. And the last question will be Alvin's.
Take it easy, Alan.
I will, but you said you were nervous. You're doing great, so good job. Which one am I asked? So let's go with what are the biggest challenges that is currently facing the City of Angels, in your opinion?
You know, I've been looking at things that I know the challenges that I think are not what you think or what everybody thinks. I think the roundabout's going to be a challenge in the sense not being done is what the citizens are thinking of it, because it's so changed. You know, people don't like change, and the roundabout's a huge thing to change. The other thing is the park is done. It's huge, but I'm hearing that there are people wanting tweaks on it, and there's little things wrong, but I think it's beautiful. It's doing fine. I don't feel the challenges. That's what I would get from you guys. That, you know, if I was on council, I could probably work better with the challenges and maybe I could understand what they are, because I haven't really picked apart your minutes or anything to find out. There doesn't seem to be. I listen to people that tell me things, and I don't have a whole group of them, but I mean, there's people that tell me, and I don't feel I've heard any really bad stuff. That, you know.
Well, thank you.
And it'll always be Seward. There'll always be Seward's a challenge.
Sewer. Thank you very much, Mary.
Thank you, Mary. And then Mary, I think as Pam has shared with you, once we're through with all the interviews, she will give you a call back so that you can hear the council's deliberation and selection. Again, thank you for showing an interest in the city and helping support our citizens. Thank you, Mary.
And thank you guys all. Thank you very much.
Oh, you want to go get him?
I'll go get them.
Okay, you want Mike Silky?
Oh, you did not get coffee then.
Tony doesn't care. Did you go?
Yes.
The one that they Beethoven's Fed. That's my all-time favorite classical piece. But I just.
You get to stand at the podium, young man.
Works for me. Easy on me, I'm I'm almost at the Medicare age.
I feel so
He's long
sorry.
past that.
I feel so sorry for you, Michael. Oh my gosh, bless your heart. Oh,
You're not there yet?
64.
Oh,
just
I
like
was
this.
on. I thought he was older than me.
That's you.
That's me, I just.
That's you. Well, again, Michael, thank you for showing an interest in this position and helping to support our city and its citizens. We have a series of questions to ask you. If you do have an opening statement before we ask our questions,
Can I say it for later?
you can save your opening statement for later. Yes, you may. Scott?
Okay, so we're asking everybody the same question.
Same question, yes.
Right, so I remember which ones I asked
Excuse me,
before.
Mr. Zilke, can you turn on your microphone, please?
What's not on? Oh, okay, now it's on.
Now we got a green light.
Yes.
Okay,
Mr.
Mike, what?
Councilmember Beal, can you turn on your microphone, please?
I thought it was on.
There you go.
Mine's red. Oh, I got green down there, Christmas time, okay. All right, Mike, what personal and or professional experiences have you had which you believe prepares you for an appointment as a city council member, and how and why?
I believe my experience of living in the city for most of my life, seeing what's going on, brings a lot of knowledge to the council. I've watched this town go from 600 incorporated Altaville, and it doubled. So I've watched it through all phases. Greenhorn Creek was hunting ground and watched that develop. I've watched the city water system go from the hands of PG&E over to what it is today. I believe living here my whole life gave me a lot of insight on the town has to grow, but it has to stay small too. Can't lose both sides of both. I've been involved in the local community in sports, fundraising, and I've sat on many local boards, FFA, 4-H. My kids were raised here. My brothers and sisters, nieces and nephews, been involved with just about every aspect. I follow what happens here, and I've also worked for a large utility district, so I understand utilities, water, sewer, wastewater, the collection systems, all that. I also worked for Caltrans for years to understand traffic, understand roads, infrastructure, and utilities. I don't understand the administrative end of it. I'm not an administrator. I will not kid nobody. I'm in more of a hands-on. I know problem solving, but not the administrative end of it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Mike. My question is about infrastructure, and you mentioned that just now that that was something you were observing. So can you go into more depth about some of the infrastructure issues that we might be facing and that some challenges ahead?
It's pretty simple. I mean, I've watched our water and sewer rates climb through the roof over the number of years. Our systems are older. They need to be upgraded. There's some upgrading going on now. I think we need to examine our utilities a little bit more. Part of the infrastructure I also see is the police and fire department. I mean, we struggle to keep and maintain officers because we can't pay them. So we need to take a look at that. We need to retain people that are going to be here for long term, not come through, get trained, and down the road they go. So that those are things that need to be looked at. I believe we need to look deep into our utility system. The rates continue to climb, and I'm not sure why. I know there's a lot that goes into that, but maybe there's better ways to look at it. Like I said, I do understand the workings of a utility district. I work for East Bay Mud, which is 1.8 million customers. So I know how they work. I'm pretty familiar with that.
Thank you.
Michael, how would you define your role as a city council member, and more specifically, your relationship with staff?
The relationship with staff would be, I mean, you can't go, the council directs the city administrator. The city administrator directs staff. I think there's got to be a line there. The council is elected by the people. The administrator is hired by the council. And I think you have to draw the line at that point. The council shouldn't be down at each department head micromanaging what's going on in their departments. That should be handled by the city administrator. What was the part of that?
No, go ahead. No, that was the question, and more specifically with staff.
With staff, yeah. And then as far as my role on the council is to make educated decisions on what comes before the board. And that was going to be part of my closing, but I'll do it now. Is if the council's looking for somebody to sit up here and rubber stamp and yes man everything, I'm not that guy. I can tell you that right now. I'm going to dig into everything. I may not be the most educated guy, but I will make a very educated decision when it comes to things. Everything can be looked up, everything can be, researched, studied, and find out and make the best decision for what's good for the city and the people in the city, not individuals. There should be no individual agendas at that board, period. You guys all know me, and you know I have my own opinions, and you're not going to change my mind on things. That's who I am. I'm not a yes guy. But I will give it 100% to find out the best possible avenue. And people may not be happy with it, but hey, I got big shoulders. You have to make what's best decision for the town and the city and the citizens and not individuals.
Thank you. Oh,
Do you support growth and development in the city of Angels? Please explain your position either way.
I'm 100% for growth. I've said for years, we have got to find a way to create jobs in this city where people can stay here. Both my kids struggled with it. My daughter moved away. I see a lot of people, they have to go away.
I got lucky. I got on with East Bay Mud. I went to Stockton for 2 years and I ended up in Valley Springs for my whole career. I was lucky, that's as far. But Valley Springs was as close as I ever was to home to work. That people shouldn't have to drive an hour each way to work. We've got to come up with ways. But the other side of that is it's got to be educated. It's got to be looked at and not impactful. I don't want it to end up like Stockton or Modesto. I was in the store here 4 or 5 years ago, and there was a lady in there, and she was ranting and raving about we need a Target, we need this, and we need that. And again, I don't keep my mouth shut very well, so I turned around and I said, "Why do you want that?" "Well, we don't have nothing up here." "Okay." I said, "Do you really think if Target comes, 50,000 people aren't going to come with it?" And she just looked at me and goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "Target doesn't build where there's 5,000 people. And you moved here because there's 5,000 people. They're going to go where there's 50,000 people. Is that what we want? Maybe not. Do we want a department store? Do we want some, like Wilco or things like that, or a little bit smaller that can bring jobs and maybe not as many people?" Yeah, I think that needs to be looked at. The shopping center that's there now is a disaster. The traffic in and out of there is a mess. And I remember 20-something years ago when that shopping center was built, he promised that when he developed the rest of it, he'd get an entrance down on Highway 4, and coming out of the existing one would be a right turn only and a left or right turn in and a right turn out only in the existing deal. That hasn't happened. And now what do we got? We got a traffic mess. So to me, the developer should have been held accountable. And that's not you guys, that's councils and councils and councils before. But that developer should have been held accountable and said, "Now, you'll build it now or we're not building it." That's smart growth, because I'll build it later. Well, that never happens. That never happens. That's like your kids saying, I'll clean my room later. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it never happens. And when they move out, you're cleaning their room. So anyway, that's I do think growth has to happen. It has to happen.
Perfect, thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. Scott?
I think Alan took my question, so I'll come up with a different one.
Wait, I was number 6.
Mike, what are the biggest opportunities you see for the city? And
I'm not sure what you mean by that. One of the opportunities or visions, you mean?
do you see any opportunities for the city to grow intelligently,
Well,
what can the city look forward to?
I would think the city needs to start, we need to start looking at more retail. We got to get people in with some retail that can employ people. We also need to look at some light manufacturing. I don't know where we go for that, but I'm sure we can put our heads together and find that. There's got to be places for light manufacturing up here. We've got a great corridor. We got great highways to and from to get here. There's a good workforce here. There's bare lots, there's bare ground. I mean, warehousing and buildings of that nature for small manufacturing, light manufacturing should I would think would be something that would employ a lot of people. Obviously I was here during the years of the mines and the loggings, but I don't see any of them coming back, but those were good jobs, back in the day. Right now, what do we got? PG&E? We don't have a phone company to speak of. We got Calaveras Lumber's probably the largest employer around, right? Or Safeway, Safemart?
Probably Walmart.
Walmart?
I think so.
So, I mean, those are, we got to quit building, resorts bring people, but they're not career jobs, so to speak. I mean, we need to look at maybe some light manufacturing or some high-end retail.
Thank you.
Caroline?
What did you do to prepare for this interview?
Nothing. I'm just myself. I've lived here long enough to watch what's going on, and most you know me. Unfortunately, I don't know you very well. These guys all know me. I am who I am. Some hate me and some love me, and I'll take both. But I just speak my mind and use a common sense approach to everything. And hopefully that works. Maybe it don't. But I will study everything that I need to vote on, 100%.
Michael, what's your definition of compromise?
Well, that's simple. I mean, our world has turned into just people doing this, and it can't happen. Everybody knows you don't get everything you want. You've got to sit down You gotta look at the pros and the cons, and you gotta give and take. And if you don't, it's never gonna work. Not everybody's gonna get what they want, and that's just the way it works. But can we make the best decision that's good for the majority? Yes. Can we maybe tweak it a little bit to include more than just the majority and get some of the people that are on the other side? Yeah. So compromise would be give and take. If we have to work a little harder to come up with a resolution that includes more people, that would be compromise.
Thank you. Alvin?
What are the biggest challenges currently facing the city of Angels?
As I said earlier, I think the utilities, I believe the police department and fire department, and the keeping and maintaining good employees. And I believe traffic is a huge issue we're facing right now. I know you guys are pushing for this roundabout, and you and I have had a discussion about it. I'm not a big fan of them. I travel all over this state, and I think roundabouts are great in subdivisions, but not on main highways. I've seen too many accidents. I've seen too many. You go to the new one they built on 152, there's skid marks all over the place, and it's just a mess. I'm not a big fan of them, but if that's what the majority wants, well, then that's what they want. I personally don't care for them. I don't know that that's good. But traffic is horrible on that end of town. I mean, obviously we have a situation down the 2 bridges downtown, but I've navigated it for 50 years. It's not that bad.
Well, thank you. Michael, you said you had an opening statement. You were going to save it to the end. Do you have anything else that you want to share with the council?
As I said, I am who I am. I've been here a long time. I've been involved in this community, do youth sports, committees, 4-H, FFA, been involved with all kinds of things. I am very forward, very open. I'm an open book. Anybody's got any questions, they can ask me. I don't mind. I hide nothing. I believe we need to advance this city in a direction where people can afford to buy a home, where people can come to work here and stay long-term and not have to move away to get a job and be employed. We got kids in our schools that, what are they gonna do when they graduate? They got nowhere to go. But housing's an issue, traffic's an issue, and all those things I think need to be addressed.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael, for sharing an interest in sitting on the council and serving the citizens of Angels Camp.
Absolutely.
We appreciate your time. Thank you, sir.
I'm supposed to turn this on?
No.
Where do I go?
You're going back. We'll call you back.
I'll sit in the comfortable chair. Oh, they're gone.
I think it's more nerve-wracking in this end than that end when I interviewed for my position. I believe that. I'm telling you. Hi, Carol. Hi, and welcome, and thank you for sharing an interest in serving on the council. And we have a series of questions to ask you. But first of all, do you have an opening statement that you'd like to share with us? Or you can use it as a closing statement, or we can just get started with the questions.
You can just get started.
Thank you, Carol. We'll start with Scott.
Speak
All right,
close to the
Karen.
microphone, please.
Oh, yeah, you got the, yeah.
So Karen, basically, we're asking the same questions of every candidate, to be fair on this. What personal and or professional experiences have you had which you believe prepares you for an appointment in the city council? Why and how?
Personal and professional. I think professionally wise, I work currently with the county. So working with the county, I feel like it does give me a better understanding of how government works, the different policies, ordinances, a lot of interdepartmental collaboration. Things don't get done right away. I'm not working with government. Personally, I don't know, I've served on a lot of committees, boards, so I'm used to working with different realms of people.
Okay, thank you.
Carol.
Hi, Kara. You mentioned on your form about infrastructure improvements, and that was one of the 3 issues facing Angels Camp. Can you expand a little bit on that?
Yes. Well, I will say too, especially going through agendas and stuff, I know we are heading steps in the right directions, but I think just the outdated roads, the lights kind of are an issue, our water system. I ran in 2020, and one of the things I did when I ran is I went and met with Chris O'Flynn and did a tour of the water plant, and just seeing how things work, and it seemed like at that time, things were like really overstressed and water was an issue. So obviously, again, I know that there's talk of the smart meters, like there's steps going in the right direction, but I mean, those seem to have been continual issues. Thank you.
How would you define your role as a city council member, and more specifically, what is your role with staff? So first of all, how do you define your role, and then your role in working with staff?
I would say our role, from how I understand it, is to kind of listen to what they have to offer, because we have a city administrator that's been appointed. As far as I see, they give you information, we review information, go off recommendations. And I guess that would be my.
And what about direct contact with staff? What is the role of the city council with respect to direct contact with staff?
Besides listening, working with them, seeing what the directions that they're taking us. I mean, since I haven't served on council, I don't know really what the day-to-day communication is with staff. So I think that would be something I would really have to learn more about, to be honest.
Oh.
Okay. Do you support growth and development in the city of Angels? Please explain your answer either way.
Oh, that's a fun one.
That's why I did it.
What was that?
That's why I did it.
Yeah, thanks. It's honestly, that is a hard one, because I do love our small town feel. I really do appreciate that. I love the way we have a community feel about us. I've grown up around here. I love that part, but I also think that growth is responsible, honestly, because I feel like as times are changing, there's more needs. I also think that growth helps as far as employment, and I'm just looking at the time from growing up with the things that we had versus now the things that we don't have. And I feel like growth also helps to bring more traffic in, more visitors. It provides more for like families as far as shopping goes, or I don't know how to answer that, because I know it in my head. It's just it's a hard one, because I'm for growth, but not a Sonora growth. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So I guess that would probably be the way I would describe that. But I do think it's important for us to grow.
Thank you.
Thank you. Scott?
Do you see, or one of the biggest opportunities do you see for the city of Angels Camp? What can we do better?
I don't know if there's things that we could do necessarily better. I do think it's important to listen to the community as far as, like I said, the needs and desires of the people in the community. And I think that we do a good job of listening. I don't know about how I'd say we need to do better.
Do you see any opportunities where the city could go to improve the city for the people or in general?
The things I think I could see us doing better is how to bring businesses back to the area of Angels Camp, because I feel that at one time there was more of a thriving business sense. And it sounds silly, but even looking I used this as an example before, at my mother-in-law's yearbook back in the 50s. There was a lot more businesses in town, and I don't know what we can do to help bring more businesses back to the area. So I think those are areas we can improve. How do we attract people to come? How do we attract businesses to open up here? Where are we lacking that is not welcoming? So I guess that's what I'd say we could do better, is how to bring it. Build it and they will come.
Caroline?
What did you do to prepare for this interview?
Well, as I mentioned, I did run in 2020. I had a little bit more opportunity to kind of go around in 2020 to, like I said, talk to the fire chief, talk to Amy Augustine to see what the plans were that was going on at the time, which seems to be what's kind of coming to fruition now. I've been watching the city council meetings, reading through the agendas, familiarizing myself better with the 218 and just kind of just doing research. I've also talked to community members of what they think that we need to improve on, or just kind of getting my foot in the door of just asking questions.
Kara, how would you define, what is your definition of compromise?
It's my way.
Good answer.
My definition of compromise is I feel like it's important to really listen to what someone's saying to kind of get their perspective of things. I know that sounds generic, but I really do believe that's true. There's a reason why someone has an opinion that they have, to understand their perspective and see where we kind of align in our thoughts and how to bring that together.
And Alvin has the last question.
What are the biggest challenges currently facing the city of Angels?
The mess on the road right now. I'm just kidding.
The kitchen remodel.
Yeah, the ones facing, I would say right now we kind of are in, I think with a lot of the changes that are going to be happening, I do see that those are going, is that what, continue what you thought?
What are some of the biggest challenges facing the city of Angels?
Besides, like, we talked about the infrastructure and
Yeah, you hit on them already, so I have to ask the question because we have to ask everybody the same question.
Right, but I do see that as the future, as we are going to be moving forward with plans. I do think that that's going to be hard before it's better, if that makes sense. Because like I said, we have been driving through downtown the last couple of days and it's very promising, but it has been a challenge to get through town the last couple of days.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. And thank you for showing an interest on sitting with us on the council and serving the citizens. So now if you want.
I do really appreciate you guys.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have a closing statement?
No, I did give you guys a letter too
Yeah, you did.
that I wrote, so I think that pretty much sums it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Schmidt. Oh, these are the first.
Where are you going? You can sit down.
He's still my purse.
Oh, he's still
Now we get to have an open discussion. Oh, heck yeah, it's awesome.
And then open vote, oh, that's fun.
It's fun.
I've been on the receiving end of that and on the end of that.
So do I.
Will's just smiling.
Always in the walls.
Yep.
Surprised you didn't bring popcorn.
Just been sitting here
Mr.
so
Mayor, should I go
just
and
gotta
call
get the
Mary?
body.
Yes, please.
We're good.
We sit where you want, I don't care.
Hello.
Mary, this is Pam from the city.
Oh, wait a minute, I don't have my iPhone, I don't have my.
Technology.
Huh, isn't
Let
it?
me know when you're ready, please. Yeah, are you ready now?
You're nervous, get down. I'm a little nervous.
Hi, hold on for just
Like
one
confidence in the job.
Takes me 45 minutes.
Mary, can you hear us now?
I
Okay, so we're back together. And again, I want to thank the three of you for showing an interest in serving on the council and the citizens of Angels Camp. And I'll open it up for discussion from our fellow members.
So could I ask a quickie favor? Just
Yes,
so Will,
you can ask a quick.
can we go over kind of how this all works? At least that's what we've done before. Is
Talk about.
we kind of talk about it. We have to make a motion,
Yes,
right? So
right, a motion and a second,
yep.
and then we vote,
Okay.
and then
I just letting everybody know how
Oh, okay. All right, I'm
this
sorry.
is new to everybody.
all right, so
Yeah.
we have to deliberate in public,
Yeah.
just as we interviewed in public. Again, we do appreciate your interest. The council will deliberate in public, there'll be a motion made, there's a second, once there's a second, any other discussion, and then the council will vote.
That means they're gonna talk.
Pardon? And we do also, we will, yes, 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 we will open it up. Yeah, there will be public comment after the council, after the council talks, yes,
After and before, right?
yes.
Right.
You want after and before?
Normally, when there's a motion, we.
Well, with the motion, yeah, we haven't had a motion yet.
No,
Yeah.
normally we talk a little bit, public
Right.
talks. And
Yeah, then we can-
goes to
yes.
discussion. So,
Yeah, maybe who wants to go first? Because I'll do it.
Well, I just want to start by saying I know how nerve-wracking it is being out on that side. I've been on that side. I've been on this side, and I just want to say thank you to all three for tossing your name in the hat. It takes a lot to put yourself out there to come through this, and all three of you clearly care about the city and the issues that we're facing, and also the opportunities that are out there. So I just wanted to say thank you very much for taking your time to do that. And it takes it's a big commitment, it really is. So I appreciate that.
And sometimes it was easier on that side than it is on this side.
I agree.
In some ways. Is there any other council? And we could open it up to the public and then bring it back to us.
Go for it. You're the
Okay.
leader of the ship.
Yeah, it's not thinking, I'm still here. And so would the public like to make any comment?
Just a comment.
Yes, but you have to
You have to go to the
You have to go to the podium. You know that by now. It's okay. And you have good knees now and everything? If you have a comment, please step to the
No, I
podium.
don't have a comment. Because, no.
Is there anyone online?
I don't want to influence your discussion. How
Well,
about that?
that's what public comment does. It
I
helps
know,
us.
but
That's
I give
compromise.
my opinion right now about how I thought each one did. Is
If
that
you
what my comment is allowed to be?
You're welcome to do
You're
that.
welcome.
You have your time. If you want to do it, do it. If you don't, then we'll bypass you.
You guys know I will. I took notes, sorry, Tricia Harkins, right? Okay, I took notes through all three interviews, writing down the questions and then scribbles on your answers, but I know my scribbles. Anyway, I kind of, as far as infrastructure, oops, wrong page.
Wait,
As far as infrastructure, two of you kind of, I would say, didn't hit the nail on the head, but did raise important issues on the infrastructure that the city does need to look at. I don't want to get into names exactly, but I think one of you kind of hit all of them. The other person did hit the important ones, and the third person apparently just had no opinion. It was kind of I just put a question mark with a big X. That's how I felt the answer went. As far as role with the council, I only think one of you actually said how you would interact with the council. The others, because it was a double question, I think kind of got it flip-flopped. And because the other part of the question was how you would interact with staff. And I could see where one person's answer did get both of those and said that there would draw a line. The other two people kind of bypassed the role on the council and only answered working with staff. You guys listen to the answers so you know who said what, basically. I don't know if anybody took notes like I did, but I got a page for each person. Yeah. That kind of bothered me. You've gotta address these people you're going to be working with and let them know how you want to interact with them. And that's why only one of you really addressed that answer, or that question, I apologize. As far as challenges, Alvin's last question, always. One of you, hit the nail on the head. Town is a disaster right now. But we know I looked at my surgeries as my hips, my knees were a disaster. But there was a light at the end of the tunnel, and I knew one hip, 6 months later, second hip. Took 9 months, a knee. It took 11 months, the second knee, but I knew there was always an end to it. And once surgery was done, that pain was gone. This one done, gone. I had to work to get myself back still, but, so we know everybody in town knows that's gonna go away pretty quick. It's not months. It's a project that has to end, within a week and a half?
No, it's gonna be months.
You're kidding.
No.
Why did that sign not say months? They lied to us.
Maybe that section on the sign.
That's section, and they'll
I gotta find somebody that can hack the sign.
That's the,
I'm sorry. Other than that, only one of you really gave an answer as far as the challenges go. So there was one person that I felt answered every question honestly. You all answered them honestly. I take that back. You all answered honestly. And you all had great answers, but I felt one person listened to the questions and answered the questions. And so as far as staff knows, by your notes, you probably got to figure out who I was leaning towards. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Michelle, is there anyone online?
We have two, but no questions.
No questions. Okay. Public, any other public members? So, bringing it back to council.
She had a
I'll go. So I would like to thank all three of you once again. And between the online applications that we've all read through and what happened tonight, with you guys speaking publicly, I would like to say thank you for everybody. For me, it comes down to two people. I think one of them talked about economic development, bringing businesses back. I see between the two of them, I think there are creating jobs for kids to stay, light industrial housing. I'm all for that, and I see that, and I think it's a great thing. Once again, the economic development, working at different places and getting roles. So I'm pretty happy with that, and we'll kind of go down the line. And there's goods and bads to all of these. But it comes down to two for me in this.
Well, it's hard to know when you're sitting out there what exactly, all this is and how it there's rules and how it works and things like that. So I know when I was answering questions and, you have some thoughts of how you feel like the city should be run or like the city direction and stuff. And then once you finally get into the seat and you start digging in and researching and reading all of that, you're like, oh, I understand.
Right.
And so it's hard for when we throw these questions at you to actually nail the question because it's just it's difficult. And there's a lot of balls in the air. For me, I feel like I agree. I'm down to two candidates, and I appreciate the touching on all the infrastructure we have in front of us, and kind of the everyone was in the we need to grow to balance what we're doing, but and economic development. And I also have a pretty great appreciation because I've been in that situation as well as running previously for this position, not getting in, and then coming to the council and being appointed and then running again. And so for me, that's kind of where I'm leaning. And so I'll throw it to you if you have any other things you want to add in this.
Yeah, first of all, I do want to thank you guys for applying. I've been in that seat as well. My first term on the council, I was appointed to take the remaining term for Jack Bodie when he passed. And it was a learning experience for me. I was relatively new to the community, and it was a good experience. What I didn't hear tonight was I heard 3 long-term locals is what I heard, and I didn't hear a lot of imaginative growth or opportunity questions or answers like one thing I think, for example, is extremely important. I've been here only 20 years, is to develop some kind of southern bypass, probably through Tryon property or something like that, to alleviate a lot of the problems in the annex. That's an opportunity for us. We're completing Foundry Lane, pass through behind Frog Jump Plaza. There's an opportunity for us, maybe at a hotel or something. But the southern bypass and hotel, those lead to increasing tourism. And tourism is a way to grow your revenues without growing physically. I did like the answer about light industrial. I'm a firm believer in that. I'm not so much of a believer that retail is the answer because of the online competition. But light industrial, that's something that brings a lot of really good paying jobs to the area. I'm excited about our habitat housing that's coming up to allow more businesses to retain employees and have a workforce housing. So I didn't really hear a lot of big thought. I heard a lot of little what I call small thoughts, in that, with the mindset that this is where we are and this is what I'm used to seeing, and it's not a lot of outside the box thinking. So I was looking forward to an outside the box thinker. So that, to me, comes back to, who has the experience that I think translates well to the council. So that's that. I'm going to be making my decision along those lines.
Mike.
I really don't have a lot to add, except again, thank you. I think the one thing I hear over and over again, and one thing that we do better, is communication. Because there are a lot of things that we are doing as a council and as a city, and somehow that's not being communicated. And again, I think communication is a key to success. I appreciated everyone understanding that, we need to do sensible growth. Because with sensible growth, it helps and increased housing. It helps with all of our infrastructure costs, et cetera. We are doing a number of infrastructure projects right now. And it's just a steep learning curve. I mean, having had experience in the public sector for my entire life, and then sitting on this board, it's a different type of relationship that you have to build. That's why I was asking questions about compromise. Because you're not always going to get everything you want, but you have to sit down and make a decision, in my mind, with what's best for the citizens, for a majority of the citizens. So with that, thank you again, and is there a motion?
I'd like to make a motion.
Yes, please.
I'd like to make the motion to nominate Kara Scott to the City Council.
I'll second.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion?
I had a different person in mind, so
And then
is there a
we're
way?
just gonna go through this one then if you don't vote for it. Is that right?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, it can
And
die.
because there's a motion and a second.
Right.
So now we have to, is there any other discussion? Yeah, there was a second.
Right.
Yeah, and then any discussion from the public? Hearing none? Roll call.
Yes, Behill,
Nay.
Shirato,
Aye.
Shemente,
Aye.
and Brolio.
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael, and thank you, Mary.
Thank you. Yeah, Mary.
Okay.
That's
Chad?
Karen,
Karen's
congratulations.
Don't actually
Are you ready?
Why is it?
Huh?
You're in the
You want to take a 2-minute break?
No,
You get thrown right into the fire.
Yeah. Well, don't leave yet.
So,
Well, you can't.
thank you very much.
You want to take a 2-second break?
Are we gonna swear
Oh,
in
we're gonna
after?
Take a 2-second break, or you want to swear
Are we
in?
swearing in and then breaking because there was a break in?
Yeah, swear in and break.
We'll swear in and break.
Sit down for one thing too, because I want to be asking for after the break.
Might as well stay standing.
Ready? Yes.
Oh, first?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
First,
So
and
then we'll
then
do a
break.
break, yeah.
Break, yes.
You don't want to sit there, Karen. Get sworn
You
in.
better come up to the podium, because Mike's going to talk to you.
I'll walk over to the podium.
I watched Mike's and Mike's was over here.
Just use his hands.
I thought you went up to the podium.
I am. We can-
Russian it.
Southern bypass?
Just like America's
Good already
law,
planned
they
for
have
it, but
3
you only
days.
want it.
Yes, it is.
All right.
That's
It was looked at 25 years.
For her.
Yeah, I think times have changed.
I know exactly where it's supposed to
Oh,
go.
sorry.
Yeah,
And I
How's
wanted
that?
to
times have changed though.
the turn on
All right, here we
to
go.
that shopping center.
Please raise your right hand. I, your name please,
I, Kara Scott,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully fulfill the duties of a city council member.
and that I will well and faithfully fulfill the duties of City Council.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr.
Now,
Chairman.
don't turn into a Trump.
Good job, Ms. Karen.
Okay, with that, we will take a 10-minute break. You need to sign.
You're a supporter?
Thank you. We are officially reopening our meeting at 7:23. I want to again thank everyone for their participation, and we will continue on with our regular agenda items.
Roll, please, Mr. Mayor. Roll.
Roll again.
Yeah, you have a new
Oh.
council member.
Gotcha.
Councilmember Behill,
Here.
Vice Mayor Shirato,
Here.
Mayor Shemente,
Present.
Councilmember Scott,
Here.
and Councilmember Brolio.
Still present.
Okay.
Here for
Okay, now move on to action item number 5C. Provide update to City Council regarding the Mark Twain Water Distribution System Improvement Project. Dave Richards.
It's on.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, City Council. Wanted to give a quick overview of where we are on the Mark Twain Water Distribution System project. Just setting some context, a reminder of the purpose of the project. We are eliminating 3 dead-end water lines on Oneida and Stanislaus and Tuolumne. One dead end is right in front of the apartments there on Tuolumne. That allows our maintenance staff to be able to service that area if a water line goes down. We take fewer homes offline during that period. So it's an important aspect of the important benefit of the project. We have replaced undersized water lines, 4-inch water lines with 6-inch water lines and 8-inch water lines. So instead of being able to deliver 500 GPM in a fire, we can now be able to deliver 1,500 GPM in a fire. And that's important when we have an elementary school right there at Pacific and Stanislaus in that. The construction has moved rather quickly in that. We actually are anticipating issuing a notice of substantial completion this Friday. The paving work was being done today. It'll be finished tomorrow. There's an item on the agenda where we'll talk about the installation of the new smart meters. That will begin, depending on the action of the council, that will actually begin later this, actually first of next week. That's part of the schedule in that. So it's been we are ahead of schedule in terms of the final completion. We expect final completion essentially to be done by the end of next week, which is about 6 weeks ahead of schedule. School, I believe, starts up on the 13th or 14th, so we will essentially be out of the way of the school on that. It's a little ironic that, but Mike leaving, Mike has a house right there in the middle of the construction. And it hasn't always been easy on Mike, all of the construction and that going on several sides of his house and that. And, you know, he's had a right to gripe. You know, he's a lot, you know, I think we've all been in construction at one point or another. There's dust, there's dirt, there's everywhere. And no matter what you try to do, you just don't catch it all. And so, you know, we have had some impacts to Mike's home and that, and we've tried our best to try to mitigate those, and he's been a really good trooper about that. But as you heard him, he speaks his mind and he lets you know, hey, this could have been done better in that. So we're actually looking at this as, again, a better learning experience for us on the design side and the delivery side, in terms of having more contact with a lot of the residents before we start construction, and getting into a little bit more detail and finding out if there are some things that we really need to be aware of in that. So in the end, as I say, the project is nearly complete. And the new water, or if you want to call it that, the new water system is online. The services have been switched, and so there's better pressure up in that area. And from that perspective, it's been a success on that.
So a couple questions, Dave. Do we have to issue boil water notices because we've been messing with the water lines?
Yes. Basically, if Chris was here, he'd give you the more elaborate and technical explanation on that. When we cut into a line and the pressure goes down, anytime you lose pressure in the system, you're going to have to issue a boil water notice.
Okay.
There's a concern that something might get, now that you don't have pressure keeping something out, that something might get in and contaminate your system. And that's so yes. We've had to issue, every time that we went through, we had 4 interconnections to the existing system, and we had to let people know, it was a 5-day boil water notice in that respect. The staff, Chris's staff, Caleb Mason, and then Brant Hughes have just been tremendous in working with the contractor in that, and with all of those boil water notices, with knocking on doors, with being there and overseeing a lot of the work with the existing systems, and that they really have contributed to one of the reasons that we're ahead of schedule. They've been so responsive and been able to really work with the contractor.
And then my last question has to do with the patches we're putting back in, the asphalt patches. Are we gonna seal around? I drove by one and it seemed like there was a crack between the patch and the existing asphalt. Are they going to seal that so water infiltration?
Yeah, that's part of the final process in that.
Okay.
Is to go back and to make sure that we don't have those gaps.
Okay.
For just that reason.
Okay.
Because the last thing we want to do is really getting water into any of those. There are some big squares out there, where there is some final work to be done, and that is, they come back, there'll be somebody coming back and making sure that there aren't any gaps.
Thank you. Does any other council person have a comment? Scott?
I just want to be clear, so we're voting on the change order here, right?
Yes.
And that's to add the 20 meters. So these meters on average are about $1,500 a piece to replace?
Yes.
And that does or does not include the cost of the meter?
I'm sorry, say that again?
That does not include the cost of the meter itself?
No, that does not.
Oh,
that is the install cost.
All right, thank you.
And it was one of our main projects that the council voted on to move to smart meters. And so those dollars have already been allocated and budgeted, not only for the purchase, but also for the installation.
And we purchased half of it.
And we've purchased half of them. And we're just taking this opportunity because the trenches are open or the boxes are open. And Chris and Dave agreed to install as many as we could install right now.
Well, the boxes are not all open, right? Because this has different levels.
Well, there are different levels,
Yeah.
but at least it was, go ahead.
Yes, Councilman, you're absolutely right. Depending on what has to be done, in certain cases, it's a simple job, open up the meter box, take the meter out, put the new meter in. Other cases, you start to get into things and there's other work to be done. And so there's basically 4 different levels of work that's as simple as take it in, take it out, put it in, to essentially rebuilding the service and what's in, replacing the meter box itself, replacing some of the guts of what's in the box. And so that's why there's 4 levels. Now, those 4 levels were established by the city staff actually walking, the people that read the meters, actually going through and this is a 1, this is a 2, this is a 3. And so that's how we came up with those numbers. Now, this is a good exercise. We're putting in 20. You know, Badger is going to come along and get the 20, hooked up or whatever the right word is. But this is also a chance for us to see, as the contractor works, is there a lot of extra work, or is it easier than what we think in terms of putting in a larger number of meters in that? So it's sort of like a beta case for us to really see and learn lessons as we put the bigger project out to put in the remaining 880 meters. So.
Now, I'm curious, in this case, basically 12 of them are level 1 and 2, and then 8 of them are 3 and 4. Do we know throughout the whole system about how many are level 3 and 4, what percentage?
Oh,
that's a big difference in price from 600 or 900 bucks to 26.
I want to say that it's probably about half are in the class 1 or the type 1, type 2 overall, and then the other in the 3 and 4.
Any other discussion? Caroline?
No, I mean, I appreciate combining this with the current job so that there is some savings here for us overall. So it'll be interesting also to see what the time commitment is per meter, so we know next time, the next round. But
Kara, any questions on this? Alvin?
No, thank you for the update on this. I appreciate it. I'm happy the project's moving along.
Any comments from public?
And once again, I'm just happy that the CIP projects too are moving forward.
On.
Yeah, so, yeah, thank you for the update.
We no longer have anyone online.
No one's online. Okay. With that, is there a motion to approve?
There's nothing to approve on this one, is there?
Yep. We have to approve the change order, right? It's an action item.
I thought we were item C, provide an update regarding March Main Water Distribution System Improvement Project.
Okay.
Or no, I could be totally wrong, or is that?
No,
There will be shortly.
Right, then on
Because we have
E,
to change
I think
order
on
that
E, we
last
have to do the change order,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, well, thank you, Dave.
I'm going to stand here for a second.
You're gonna stand. Now we're gonna go D.
Yes.
Action item, D.
Oh, I see our packet went from A to E, that's why I got confused. Got it.
Okay, provide update to city council regarding the Habitat for Humanity off-site water system.
Yes. This project is not yet under construction. The water line, Habitat for Humanity is as part of their development agreement. They are tasked with extending a water line essentially from Copella down just about to the tractor store on I'll just call it the south side of the highway on that. The project originally included a loop or a parallel pipeline on the north side of Highway 49 on the Middleton store side of the highway in that. We ultimately deferred or are not requiring Habitat for Humanity to build that leg of the water line because of some issues that we ran into with the property owner not really wanting us to be building within his parking lot on that. The project itself, to a little bit of background as to well, why is Habitat putting this line in to begin with? If you think about it, to set some context in that, the water system, our water supply system, we're servicing the downtown and then along Main Street out toward or out to Capello and that water line, we have a single water line that supplies that area. It's an 8-inch water line that comes down. I drew a blank. There's an 8-inch water line that comes into the middle of town and then it splits off. It heads in the direction to Capello. Some of it is 12-inch, some of it is 8-inch, some of it is 10-inch. The bottom line is that we have issues with water pressure and available water west of Highway 4 on Main Street and that. There are issues in being able to deliver the required fire flows along that. So, and those are issues on all the businesses and that lie on that side of 49. The current water system supply down in that area is an 8-inch line that ultimately, or that connects to one of these 10-inch lines that's on the Highway 4 side of Cherokee Creek. So you would basically have an 8-inch line that's coming down Highway 49 on the Middleton side of the road. There is also, when they built the tractor store, they put in an 8-inch line. They put in an 8-inch line across Highway 49 to service the tractor store. There's also an 8-inch line that finds its way over to the apartments that are over across from the baseball field. And so there is a looped system right now of an 8-inch loop that eventually would serve any development along Capello. Again, the problem with that system is we don't get quite enough fire flow at Capello. And we've seen that from fire flow tests and the like and that. So the long-term solution to bringing water or solving the water supply issues along Highway 49 west of Highway 4 is there's actually two solutions. One solution is to upgrade that water line along 49, basically from Highway 4 all the way to Cherokee, is to upsize that or build a parallel line through there. That is one of the CIP projects that is currently in the mix. The other project that, I hate to say, didn't make the cut, but there was another project that we had identified a couple of years ago that was in part with Foundry Lane, essentially building a water line across Highway 4 to connect to Foundry Lane and bringing that pipeline up Foundry Lane and connecting into the existing pipelines that are near the tractor store. That was the second solution. That second solution had a price tag because you've got to bring it into Stockton. It's got to come up into the Main Street area. That had a price tag of a little over $3 million. So it was not, if you look at the CIP that was approved last year, it's not there. It's not there. The project that I talked about on Highway 49 of upgrading those lines, yes, it's in the CIP, but it's a couple years away. So we have the situation with Habitat. We know that we've got to do something because we're adding 60 units there. We're not able to meet, we need to get a little bit more water in that direction. And that's where the requirement for them to extend an 8-inch line along Highway 49, that's where that requirement came from. We needed to do something to get a little bit more water down that way. And so that's the reason for the offsite line that they're going to build. They haven't started the line because it's taken us since February to get an encroachment permit from Caltrans in that their abandoned right-of-way that is to the west of the tractor store. It just took us, we literally got the encroachment permit yesterday. So that's the big picture as to why the Habitat had a requirement to build some level of infrastructure to allow us to get a little bit more water down there, down at that end. Better solutions would have been either one of these CIP projects, but those projects were, when we were establishing this requirement for habitat, those projects were years away. And so that's how it's almost like they're the first development that's out that far. They were first in and they were tagged, they were required to put this water line in.
So I was involved with Habitat when we were getting our entitlements and worked with Amy closely on that. And correct me if I'm wrong, my recollection said that Habitat, first of all, wasn't required to pay for anything, that the city was going to run a 10-inch pipeline from 49 to the property. And the city had to do that, and it was already approved to do that, it was already funded. And now I'm hearing something different. So in the last few years, something's changed. Now Habitat has to pay to put in pipes in the city.
Habitat is paying,
And I believe that's in their initial entitlement.
I think it is. I think it's in the development agreement.
Can we check on that?
We can.
Because I don't recall that being one of the conditions of that development.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And my question along those same lines is this new addition going to have a benefit to any other citizen or group besides Habitat? And what portion of that line is going to benefit other people besides Habitat?
If we had built the line on the north side of highway, on the Middleton store side, we could definitely identify a benefit to the businesses on that side of 49. By deleting that element, Mr. Mayor, then this really is just benefiting Habitat. It's basically another line that is essentially designed to supply Copello, their connection at Copello. They're going to extend the existing line from Copello near the ball field and the church. They have to extend that line into their development in that. We're bringing this other line that we're talking about is connected to essentially at their connection point into the development in that. So it's really sized and it's really directed to Habitat. It doesn't
touch 49. You're talking about it starts then beyond the apartments.
It starts just to the west of the tractor store, of the tractor supply store. There's a connection, there's an 8-inch connection that comes across.
So on the backside of Tractor Supply?
No, on the front side.
So it is going to touch
Road. The old road.
The old driveway.
Yeah, that old.
Oh, down in the hole, okay.
And then
Yeah, it's on the Copello side. It's on the Copello side of the tractor store.
Yeah, I'm almost positive any pipes that led to the property line were supposed to be paid for by the city. And the money was already allocated, it was already approved like a year or two before. It was something that was already planned, so that this would have been 5 years ago or more.
yeah, we can go back over that
Yeah, make
condition.
sure.
I know I've discussed it with Morgan several times.
So Dave, would it be in the city's best interest if the city were to put a hydrant in on this line that would then help support?
Did you look at the plans?
I haven't seen the plan. Is there a hydrant there?
Yes.
Okay, it's a hydrant on the city side of the property. I
Yes,
guess what I'm
yes.
looking for ways to maybe share this cost with Habitat. That's what I'm looking for. And I think maybe Scott concurs, and I don't know how the rest of the council feels. Because, I could understand it if we weren't going to incur any benefit from this additional line. But if the city down the road can benefit from any of this addition, then a portion of that, I think, should be borne by the city.
Because I had a question about that. For future developments that go beyond Eureka Oaks, because of there's property and annexation possibilities and things like that, would it serve those potential developments?
I think the key for all of that is the connection from Fountain, or from
Lane over.
Yeah, that is the absolute key to really opening up that area for development from a water supply perspective in that. Does it benefit the apartments out there, putting another line? We got an extra loop. I wouldn't argue against it.
Right, because the Capello Drive folks are all on wells, like they're not part of the city, so it just would be the apartments and then Eureka Oaks, right?
Right. It's another piece of infrastructure. We wouldn't be talking about it if we didn't have, if Habitat or Eureka Oaks wasn't being built because we couldn't meet the fire flow requirement. And so, you just have to balance that. But yes, I would not argue. I mean, I would certainly, there are things that we can look at that would show that there is a benefit to the overall community bringing this line in. We are putting fire hydrants in there. We are on that side because there's businesses down on that side, and it just seemed ludicrous not to, hey, we're coming down here with a water line.
CDK's right down in there.
Yeah, right, and that will help their fire insurance too,
Right.
but,
I didn't know the residents
On Capello?
On Capello.
they're not part of the city. They are, part of the county, they're annexation.
Like, I think like Bruce and those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, my parents lived at the very end of Capello.
So my only concern is that Habitat, what we're going to do will give Habitat everything they need to pass every inspection and the water flows that they need.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, the fire department will do, but I mean, yes, this is our solution to getting more water down there and helping them meet that fire flow requirement.
Okay. And then I'm all for trying to help Habitat or to look into what Scott's talking about, but if we can, put a fire hydrant, if we can share costs, I'm all for helping Habitat in any way, shape, or form. And then I think the Foundry Lane access to bringing bigger water on the backside of that is very
Well, the other thing that you do, we're running by businesses that are not on the system now. We're running a water line right past them. So you put a service, whether they want to hook up or not, but I mean, you put a service there so that in the future, if they want to come and put their money down, the service is there.
Well, there's also commercial around Tractor Supply, possible opportunities there, aren't there, where we've talked about,
Could be.
Could be.
So right now, we've got like CDK, we've got
Right.
the propane people, we've got the bread people, I don't remember how they're hooked up, that could hook in.
Yeah.
The additional commercial that might go in there, that would likely come off of the Foundry Lane project.
So when I was involved back then, it was about replacing an existing pipe to the apartments. The apartments were already kind of suffering a little bit. And there was one, I think it was, if I recall, it was from an 8-inch to a 10-inch pipe from 49 to the Habitat property.
Right.
And that's what was a project on the city's list to do at the city's expense. And it was supposed to have been done a long time ago. So now whatever you guys are talking about, I think is a change. And I don't know that that's fair to tag Habitat with a change that the city's going. I don't, and we'll have to check the development agreement, but I don't believe this is part of Habitat's responsibility.
A portion of it should be.
Well, pretty positive.
We will go back to that. I have revisited that several times. It is possible that the way the condition got written was that thou shalt, before you get your first building permit, have this fire flow on site.
It was, that was a prerequisite to get it in, but it was the city was gonna do it at their expense and it was already approved at the time.
And we'll look at the condition.
Okay, well, yeah.
And what is the cost of this?
I want to say it was something on the order of $800,000 or $900,000.
And that's.
It was not, but that was the entire project. We've scaled it back, so it's probably closer to $500,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that
That's what I heard.
Okay, and that's something that we have on the docket for CIP, but it's down a few years away.
yes.
So
It could definitely be part of the CIP project that was.
put down, so, okay. So I think it would be worthwhile taking a look at that too, to see if we have the capability to move it up closer. I don't know if anybody else is
Well, no, I
open to
agree.
that,
Well,
but, because we do have reserves.
Right, and that's my only question is, Habitat is hopefully gonna have homes up for 2 years, is maybe.
Oh, yeah, no, they are.
So right,
Before
so.
the end of this year.
Right, so how do they have that fire flow or the water that they need before we do that part of it?
Okay, so they've already constructed part of this line that's within the city on Capello. They stopped at the Caltrans right away. They have the permit now.
Right.
They have the drawings now. They can and we met with a contractor, Moyle Excavation is doing a great job, I might add. We met with them on Friday, to go since we finally had the permit, walking them through the permit and then this work, and we don't disagree, this work can get done in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
And so they can, and obviously they would like to get it, they're gonna schedule it so that it fits well with everything else that they're doing out there, but there shouldn't be any reason that the pipeline is not built in time for the houses.
So, okay, so that was
That's exactly what they said 5 years ago.
So I would like, if the city council concurs, is have Pam work with Morgan and Dave and come up with a cost analysis of what portion of this project the city can share with Habitat. If the council concurs, then that would be the direction that we can.
And that's why we revisit the actual condition.
Yeah, and then we can revisit.
Because I think
I would revisit it first.
Whatever you guys want to do.
If my understanding is correct, and I can look it up when I get home, but if it's correct, my understanding is correct, then Habitat's not on the hook for anything.
For any of it.
To the property line, right?
To their property line.
Right. So, yeah, because this is all news. I haven't heard any of this before. And like I said, I worked hard on those entitlements. So my memory may be fading, but I remember thinking the only thing that we need from the city at this point is that 10-inch pipe going from Capella to 49, and we're good. But things may change. It's been a few years.
So then we will continue doing the research on the previous agreement. And if the agreement does say that, then I'm assuming it would come back to the council for approval for the expenditure and moving forward, or the reimbursement, or however we're going to do it.
I think it was already approved and funded, and funds were allocated for it years ago. Why it didn't get done, I don't know. There was a push for a while that tried to stop Habitat from going in, so I might think that it got tabled.
So it sounds like at least we're in concurrence that the city can help with a contribution, if that's the case, or if in fact the agreement currently states that the city would be responsible, the city then will put in that water line to the property. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a question, not about that. But Amy, when we do Foundry, would this new line be a redundant water line then? Would we still need to do the water line down Foundry Lane?
We will still need to do the water line down Foundry Lane because it's going to be bigger.
Yeah, we definitely.
Okay.
We want to do the water. You want to do the Foundry Lane water line.
Okay.
Because if you just imagine, you've got all of these undersized water lines along Main Street, and here we have a chance to put in a better sized water main, a water line that comes in from comes in from that direction. That's a real, I would call it a deal breaker. That's a big deal.
Okay, I'm fine. I just needed that clarification. All right.
So the work that we've shown on that water line that Habitat or Moyle Habitat is building, we've shown a connection. It's all set.
Okay.
It will be all set, waiting for the line to come up Foundry.
Okay. And, good. And then John, you've looked at the plans and looked at, is he gone? Okay, then forget my question. Okay. So we have Pam, staff, we have direction of what we need to hear next meeting, and thank you. And thank you for explaining that. Any other comments from staff? From council?
No.
Any comments from the public? Anybody online? All right, thank you. Okay, we got the Habitat. We're moving on to E, adopt resolution. Just stand right there. Adopt resolution 25-56, thereby approving construction change order number 002 for the removal and replacement of 20 existing water meters with city furnished smart water meters in the amount of $29,665.27, a portion of a greater project called the Mark Twain Water Distribution System Improvement. And I think we've already talked about it, Dave, but anything you want to add?
I think city staff, I think I'm speaking for city staff, they're excited to get this work done. They want to get these meters in. They want to see how they work. And so this is the perfect opportunity. We save money by having the contractor who's on site doing this work now. Sort of like dropping in something and when they're building a sidewalk kind of thing. That's, it just, and we have a regional price from Neerich in that, so.
Which could be set the bar for what we can expect them to be cost to install the rest of them, right? Okay. Michelle, I have a question. Do we have the technology to support these with our new
software.
software?
And this would be a perfect test
Okay.
in a small controlled area to implement that.
Well, they just kind of go around with a smart.
They have their device, they will have a handheld device. We get to drive by? They can drive by or, be in a central location to pull the meter reads to their handheld device. It will no longer be manually keyed into the system. It will be imported. And then the water bills will be analyzed and then generated.
And our new accounting system can do all of that.
It does, and it works closely, and it has worked with Badger Meter before. We already have contact with our rep from Badger Meter and our rep from AccuFund, and they're talking.
Any comments from the public? There's no one online. Any additional comments from council? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve this change order?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2556.
I'll second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none. Michelle?
Yes. Behill?
Aye.
Sharado? Aye. Shemente?
Aye.
Scott? Aye. Brolio?
Aye.
Thank you.
I hear Scott, I would say aye when he's.
All right. I'm going to scroll down to this because I do have some questions about this one before we start, so I can get there. All right. Moving on to 5F, adopt resolution number 25-57, thereby awarding the construction contract for the Purdy Road Water and Sewer Improvement Project to Neerich and Sons and Company in an amount not to exceed $349,475. Dave.
So we had a bid opening last week for our Purdy Road project in that. We got very favorable bids from both Sutton Enterprises as well as Neerich underneath or below the engineer's estimate in that. We reviewed the bids. We have no issues with the numbers in that. And so we're coming before the council tonight and to ask for authorization to award that contract and for Pam to be able to execute the agreement with Neerich and Sons. We'd like to get the work started sooner than later. If we can expedite the process a little bit. I think that we've got a very favorable bid from Neerich because they're finishing one job and they'd like to take their crew and literally move them over to that job. They like working here in the city, and certainly the results have been very favorable. There's another we'll come before the council next time talking about a sewer project on Vallecito. They know about the sewer project. They'd like to be in a position to be able to bid that one too. So we'd like to ask the council to award the contract and then authorize Pam to execute an agreement with Neerich, and we will be ready to go.
Any questions from council?
Just one little typo correction. In the resolutions is now therefore be resolute. So if this change the type to resolve, that'd be great.
Oh. Are you talking about the resolve?
Yeah, resolve.
Yeah. There's an extra.
There's an all of them.
There's an I in there.
No more teenagers and all.
There's no I in team.
Okay, Dave, I have a couple questions comparing the two bids. I can understand the difference in the mobilization because Neerich is here. But when you go down to line item number 10, why is there such a discrepancy between the sewer bypass pumping MH 57-7 to MH 55-5? One is $2,500, the other is $45,000.
That's what I was-
Why? Do you have any idea?
I can speculate.
Okay, can you tell me what that is first, and then you can explain.
Okay, so part of this project is we're going into the existing sewer that runs along the creek that is in the heavily vegetated area to the one side of Purdy. We're going into that sewer and we're taking segments out.
Okay.
Okay, so that means you can't take segments out while the sewer is in operation.
Oh.
So you've got to go to what we call an upstream manhole, and you got to put a pump in there or something, and you have to bypass around that.
I see.
So our experience with Sutton when they built our Booster Way project, in that they put a premium system in, an absolute premium system in to do all the bypassing.
Okay.
And I think it was over $140,000 to do the bypassing on Booster. I think that they're envisioning, when I look at the $50,000 number, I think they thought, or they're envisioning something similar. I believe that Nearridge is looking and saying, okay, we have 6 homes here and 2 homes there and 3 homes there. Maybe we're not going to bypass. Maybe we're just going to plug the sewer and put a septic truck out there and suck out the sewer rather than doing the bypassing in that. Or they're going to try to do some things more with the sewer online. I just have a feeling it's a different philosophy that they're using in that. So that's where I picked up the same thing, Mr. Mayor, is that was the huge difference was that.
There are a lot of examples that, for example, traffic control.
That's what I
Now that's another good point. I wasn't sure that when I looked at the numbers, that that Sutton and in there, that they really, I hate to say that, gosh, it's not meant as a negative, but one of the landowners is allowing vehicles to drive around the construction around his property, with allowing the road to be closed during the day, but we have a detour. And so the traffic control is like minimal. He's got a detour. You're not really, you're shutting down the road, but you're not having to have flaggers out there. You're not having to have all of that goes along with traffic control. And I think so I think part of it was, again, a different concept on traffic control than what Nearridge had. Now, what I found interesting was if you compare the unit prices for putting the pipe in, Sutton was lower. And so having watched Nearridge out here on Mark Twain for the last 2 months in that, they don't bring in a separate traffic control group. They're rotating in among the folks that are working in the crew. And so I have a feeling that some of those traffic control costs are buried in their unit cost of putting in the pipeline in that. So that's what I took away from that is those are the two things that really jumped out.
Any other comments from the council?
Yeah, those are the same 2.
Okay.
I was wondering if you go back to both and say sharpen your pencil, has that been done?
I'm sorry.
Have you gone back to each one and said you need to sharpen your pencils because the bids are kind of, for example, if Sutton can work out something with the bypass and with the traffic control, 2 things that don't really have a lot to do with actual construction, it seems to me they might be less expensive.
Well, we watch all of their work as they go along, and if it's apparent that there's a saving somewhere, if there's something that a requirement, you can't necessarily just say we're going to pay you less or you need to sharpen your pencil because this is the contract that we end up signing in that. But there's certainly, as we're looking at that, if as we go along, if there are things that we can adjust in the field, we make the adjustment and there's a potential reduction in.
And correct me if I'm wrong, we can reject these bids and open it up, but we can't ask them to adjust their bid.
Right.
I mean, so any comments from the citizens, public comment? Michelle, anyone online?
No, I know nothing about.
All right, so is there a motion to approve the contract? I make a motion to approve this contract and award it to Neeraj and Sons.
I'll second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, any discussion from members of the public?
No.
Hearing none, roll call.
Behill.
Aye.
Sharado.
Aye.
Shemente.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
And Brolio.
Aye.
We're going to hold a public hearing, reintroduce, waive the second reading by substitution of title, and adopt ordinance number 547. Thank you, Dave, by the way. 547 to update chapter 2.12 and associated sections of the City of Angels Municipal Code relative to civil defense and disaster organization adopted in 1958 and renaming it Emergency Management and Response with updates reflecting current emergency response procedures and adopted emergency response documents. Before we go to our staff report, thank you, Dave. Before we go to our staff report, just as a reminder, in the public hearing, we will hear a staff report. Council will ask questions. Once council has asked their questions, we'll open up the public hearing. We'll hear from the public. Once those have been concluded, we'll bring it back to the council. So with that, staff report.
Mayor and council members, this is the very last of the many, many, many code changes we have had for the all hazards plan, all hazards planning code changes, which have so far addressed fire, floods, grading, drainage, erosion control, heritage roads, and now finally, emergency response, with actually minimal changes. The primary two changes being to get rid of the word civil defense that originated back in, I almost said 1958, and move it into the current century in which it's emergency management and response. In response to Councilmember Behill's question about civil defense perhaps being too stringent, we did do research on that, and the federal government actually has started using FEMA, the word emergency management and response, for multiple reasons that were elaborated in the report. Those being, it is more encompassing than civil defense and encompasses more things, including civil unrest. So we should be covered, and it is something that the federal government down has been advocating and could not find anyone in the state so far that was still using the term civil defense. So with that said, the only other change is to have a proactive response after a disaster. That has been added, allowing the director to basically suspend codes, suspend fees, do whatever we might need to do without having to stop and adopt an ordinance after a disaster. And be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from council? Okay, well, no additional questions from council. We'll open up the public hearing. Any member of the public who wishes to address this issue may step up to the podium.
Yeah.
We're good. Okay. Anybody online?
No,
Thank you, Michelle.
I'm always it.
Well,
Just kidding.
I will then close the public hearing and bring it back to the council for a motion to approve.
I'll move. Thank you for the explanation of civil defense. I'll move the item.
I'll second.
You can speak, you know. There's been a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Any discussion from public? Hearing none, roll call.
Behill.
Aye.
Sharado.
Aye.
Shemente.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Brolio.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion passes. Moving on to item 5H, adopt resolution number 25-55, thereby approving the expenditure of up to $45,000 to purchase and install 2 hydration station drinking fountains at Utica Park.
You look kind of funky in the picture. I couldn't figure out how they worked.
They almost look like the ones at the airport and stuff, I think.
So Mayor and council members, I'll start by saying that this is, to clarify, it's actually for purchasing the hydration stations, which as you can see, have an ADA faucet. They have a,
And that's doggies on the bottom.
It looks like
it's for dogs on the bottom.
It's doggy bottom.
And then it's got a bottle refiller on
And a
top.
bottle.
Oh,
And a
okay,
drinking fountain.
now it makes sense.
And that one that's wheelchair accessible. The drinking fountain is wheelchair accessible.
Correct.
With-
Well, I couldn't figure out why there was one on the ground.
Yes.
I was like,
Okay, go ahead.
sorry.
So basically, it's for purchasing these. What I've included, because it was my understanding that the council wanted this expedited and have the drinking fountains installed as soon as possible, I included a not to exceed $20,000 cost to have them installed and to include supplies that would be needed for the installation. Because this has to be connected not just into the water line, you have to install a drainage system, and you have to install the drainage system to the sewer system. And so we suspect that that's gonna take some pipeline trenching, going under some sidewalks, and that type of work. No fun. We have not yet received cost estimates from anybody for those. I did call around to a few people to ensure that it wasn't going to exceed $20,000. The average cost is around $7,500 each. So I figured 15. I went to the max. They can go as low as $1,300. They may be way cheaper than we expect, but wanted to have this so that it could be expedited. These happen to be the exact same hydration stations that Warrior was going to install at almost the exact same cost. Yes, our public works guys could install them. They just have so many things going on now and so many priorities that we are putting forth this money in case council wants it expedited. We certainly can by hiring an outside contractor. So
Well,
that's up to your discretion.
And I want to remind the council and the public that it was the council who was looking for other funding sources when you brought this to us.
Right.
And so this was always going to be an expense, and we were hoping to find grant funding for that.
And we did go to the
Right.
T-STAN, IRWNA, and turned out that that funding, maybe in 5 years, we might be able to get drinking fountains.
So Amy, are these fountains going to be placed in the same location they would have been placed at originally?
Yes, yes.
But Boyer didn't do any of the infrastructure to it?
They did not. They, we had asked them to, they didn't. That said, there wasn't all that much they could have done. Basically, the only thing they didn't do was from the water line to where the connection would go. So off the main water line. These are being installed really close to where the water lines are, so that wasn't going to be very far. The added expense is that drainage, having to hook it into the sewer for the drain.
Now, how far away are they going to have to trench for the sewer, do you think?
So-
I know they just by the restrooms?
One's gonna go over by the restrooms and the playground, and the other one's gonna go over by the kitchen.
Okay, so that's
Um,
close to sewer.
And they're not that far, but the one that's over by the playground may have a little bit further to go for the sewer.
Okay.
Boyer did put in conduits underneath all sidewalks.
Oh, good.
So that we won't have to rip up sidewalks to put this stuff in. I'm a little tiny bit concerned about having to, after we get under the sidewalk, chuck up a bit of the parking area to get into the sewer line. Yeah, sorry. If we can relocate it so we don't have to do that, we will. Which means we may have one of these drinking fountains on the other side of the walk, closer to the theater, the stage, so that, because then we don't have to go as far to hook into sewer. But I don't know what that does to the water line. See, when you get, yeah.
Sure.
So we will work really hard to not dig stuff up.
Are you open to moving the one that would be by the children's playground so that it is a little closer and maybe we don't have to do as much? Okay. 'Cause I mean, I think people just want to have access to water. I don't know that they have to have it right at the children's playground.
And it has to be accessible.
And it has to be accessible.
So we may have to add some cement pads.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so that they can.
Wheel up to it.
Right.
Does that, you might want to check with Boyer. I wonder if that pad in front of this drinking fountain has to be 5 by 5 so they can spin a wheelchair around.
We actually did check with Boyer, and they worked with us to determine 2 spots in
Right.
both locations
Right.
that would be the closest to both water and wastewater. There are a couple locations where if we get it close enough to the sidewalk, you're already there. We will have, of course, have to.
Are we
double check.
required to have 2?
We proposed 2 in our grant application.
But are they requiring 2?
The grant?
Yes.
Yes, because we proposed 2.
Okay, but one can be a simple one and one can be more like this. One can be a hydration station and one can just be
You know, I actually would have to double check,
simple,
because I believe we actually said hydration station.
but it
We
doesn't
at
have to
least
have
one.
the dog part of it either, like it,
Not necessarily.
right.
I'll be honest with you, the main cost of this, these are usually around $4,000 or $5,000. It's because it's an anti-freeze one,
Yeah, so
Right.
which jacks up the price considerably.
Yeah, why is that important? In the cold, freezing winter, it's gonna be a lot less demand to use for it.
No, because the water
Just the
flows
pipes
in
will
it, the
break.
pipes will break.
Yeah, it'll make it,
I did do some searching online for hydration stations because I was like, wow, this is really expensive. And I mean, it is a couple grand less to take out the dog watering piece of that.
it is. And
Yeah. And so I was wondering if we could get away with one station in the whole park because people don't mind. I mean, if you're just needing to fill up a canteen and water your dog, I mean, people are willing to go find it. We've only had one before, right?
we have any option you would like. We can remove it on both, we can remove it on one, we can have just, I will have to double check. I think we need the hydration bottle filling on 2.
Yeah, no, I'm all for the hydration bottle filling because it does save
But
on
no, the
plastic
dog
use and all that stuff.
Do not.
But you could always just use the water thing to give your dog water.
Correct, yeah.
People walk dogs and they used
Yeah.
to bring their water with
No, I'm
them.
saying.
Right, you're right.
There's no
Just
requirement.
getting away with one instead of 2 at the park. You can walk your dog over to the one, you don't have to have duplicate.
No.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that far.
Or you just use the water bottle for it.
Right. I don't know.
They do make a model that
Can
doesn't
we
have.
see more options, basically,
Right.
because I'm in the camp, well, it's probably my own camp as usual, but $45,000 on 2 drinking fountains to me is,
With
it
install.
was great if it's grant funding and we're not paying for it, but for us to pay $45,000 to install 2 drinking fountains, I want to see more options, because to me, that's out there. And especially for dogs.
Right. I'm on the same token as Scott there, and I couldn't.
Join the club.
I couldn't. Exactly. The only thing I can say is there is no water fountain there. So it's something that we really have to do.
Yeah.
So my thing is I want to speed this up is all I'm saying. I don't want to take forever. But like I hopped on, I'm online right now with Global Industries and I found this exact one. It looks like it and they're expensive. But they make one that's not quite as pretty for $3,099. It looks
Is
like.
it freeze?
It says it can have it, but I don't know.
Price on that one.
We will go
Because the
over this.
difference on these actual, they jump from 4 to
Right.
10.
No, exactly, from
When I
7
did
to
the
10.
Google, I did the freeze. Like,
Yeah,
it
or
doesn't-
the other option would be, we have the kitchen, and I'm throwing stuff out,
Mm-hmm.
attach them suckers to the side of the kitchen and all the plumbing is on the inside and the bathrooms are all like this style that would attach to the wall. And then there's nothing freestanding. Everything's inside of the building, so we don't have to have freeze protection. And to my knowledge,
And I will have to double check with Chris, because Chris and I had quite a conversation about having them attached.
that's fine. And if that's not an option, that's great. I just can't. I want water fountains there really bad, but I can't spend $45,000. And I'm really disappointed that we didn't pick a spot and we didn't say we need water, sewer, power plumbed here for it. And that. So
We did ask that. We 100% asked that.
No, I know. I'm disappointed. that it
But I
didn't
like where
happen.
you're going with this on the building, on the kitchen, because it already has water and sewer. So having something simple there to fill bottles,
and then have something else that's the ADA.
That's
It's the-
Exactly, if we have to buy one of those that meets the ADA and we have
Yeah.
a water filling station I'll buy 2 water filling stations at $1,000 a piece. You know, I'm just, if we can attach them to the building and there's already water and sewer there, we run a pipe and we attach. I'm just trying to think outside the box of $45,000.
Gotcha.
And I know it was up to 45,000. I'm getting what you're saying too.
And would you have any direction in terms of installation? Would you want the cost to be absorbed? Would you want to wait to have our public works people
No, I
install?
don't think so. I think, no, we
To
need to
include the
expedite.
cost of installation?
Yes.
Okay. All right,
And do you think you can get that done
for
By
the
the next
next
meeting?
meeting, yes.
so that we can move forward with
Yes.
with the drinking
I'll
fountain?
have that for you on the night.
And can you also confirm the requirements of the grant? How far do
Of
you have to go
course.
on these things?
Yes.
Thank you.
I know we have to have at least one.
And then maybe options of doggy drinkies and none. So that, yeah, I mean, it's because it sounds like the consensus of the council thinks.
I just had a
Yeah.
little thing that's attached to my little.
So one extra thing to have to clean out. And,
Yeah.
I also put a key in it.
Because of the fact that the word.
But I think to have them, but I think the freeze part of that is important. So we're not breaking pipe and repairing. So I don't think that's an option, but maybe the doggy drinking fountain part can be eliminated. And maybe go to one wall mounted and one freestanding.
Or 2 wall, I'm just saying.
Or 2.
Or 2 wall mounted. I mean, if we can get the bathroom situation
I
to
don't-
where they're mounted.
Well, we need at least 1. I'm just saying, but.
And the bathroom's
I will work with
ADA.
public.
Right, the bathroom's ADA, or could you have filling stations? Well, you don't want to fill in the bathroom. Yeah, either way.
No, you don't want
Is there a
to.
sink in the bathroom? Does that count?
bathroom to get a bottle of water.
Okay. So you have
I have enough.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you for doing that. All right.
I'm going in the bathroom.
5I, designate the City of Angels voting delegate and alternate for the 2025 League of California Cities Annual Conference.
Good evening, City Council. The 2025 League of California Cities Annual Conference is on October 8th to October 10th in Long Beach. During this conference, this annual business meeting on Friday, October 10, Cal City membership considers and acts on resolutions that establish policies. For the City of Angels to have a vote at the annual business meeting, the city must designate a voting delegate and at least one alternate, just in case that the main one couldn't work out at that time. And then submit a completed 2025 annual conference voting delegate alternate form by Wednesday, September 24th of 2025. So the voting delegate and the alternate must be registered to attend the conference. They need not to register for the entire conference. However, they may register for Friday only, which is when the annual business meeting would happen. To cast a vote, at least one voter must be present at the business meeting and in possession of the voting delegate card. Voting delegates and alternates need to pick up their conference badges and voting delegates at the voting delegate desk. Currently, the city has not yet selected attendees for the annual conference. So therefore, staff is moving forward to present this to you for discussion and then give us direction as to who would be going, and we can make arrangements for travel and other things.
Is this item in our budget?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
I cannot attend.
Well,
till October.
I had asked to get registered, it didn't happen, and so now I've had other things booked over that time frame, so I'm not able to attend either.
Oh, it's getting smaller.
We don't actually need to, I mean, if we don't have anybody there, we don't have anybody there.
Right.
It's not the end of the world.
Is it?
Are you, or is the city administrator considered a voting delegate or not?
No.
Not at all.
It has to be
No,
elected.
I mean, here's the, like,
Right.
we, our city council, we're small, but this is a very part-time thing where some city councils, that's their job.
Right, no idea.
So they go and it's, you know, I get that. And so for us, it's just a little bit different because this isn't our full-time job.
Right. I would have to check my calendar, but I know, I want to say that I have October obligations already through work.
It's in Long Beach, by the way.
I know,
as
it's
well.
in-
It's not
yeah,
like
it's-
it's in Sacramento.
No, Sacramento is the one I went to.
Friday.
and
Oh, yeah.
and yes.
So.
Were you on the right side of any votes?
No.
No.
Like I said, Make sure we want to budget, is it budget?
It is budgeted because it's good going for like the training and education and the.
I will say the classes that were there were
Yeah, the
absolutely
classes have been
amazing,
fantastic.
and talking to other small agencies was a pretty good experience.
Yeah.
It really was, and hearing about PERS and liability, I mean, it opened your eyes to a whole other picture. So that aspect of it is absolutely amazing, and I think everybody should go at least once. But when was it again?
It's October 8th through the 10th.
Cool.
We would not saddle you with
The
that
13th,
yet.
14th, 15th. I got something already, so let me see. Can we table it till next meeting? Because that comes down to me and Mike, right? Oh, me and Mike loose in Long Beach.
I think we need a chaperone. Michelle, you want to go?
I think you should send the public comment to I'll keep you to in line.
All right, so we're tabling this to the next.
Can we table till next and I'll check and see?
That will continue the item.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to item J, adopt resolution number 25-63, thereby approving the recently revised municipal services agreement between Calaveras County and the City of Angels for Angels Police Dispatch Services from fiscal year 25-26, beginning July 1st, 2025 through fiscal year 29-30, and ending June 30th, 2030. Pam.
On July 1st, we have brought this item before council, and it had been approved. The caveat that we had was there were minor changes that our city attorney had recommended, which is, we've defined it as recommended changes, and we had left it up to the county to say, if you don't want these changes, go ahead and do so. However, during that time that we returned the draft to the county turned around and said, by the way, we just found out we gave you the wrong CPI index information, A. And B, our attorney found out that we wanted more changes other than what we proposed. And to cut the long story short, what had happened was, in their viewpoint, adding terms from 3 to 5 years is not a big deal to them. But based on the city attorney and I, our respective viewpoint is, it's material because it's a term of a contract that is very major. It will change things. Aside from that, the monetary amount that equals a year is far more than $50,000. And so I told them that this has to go back to council for reconsideration and their approval.
So they're gonna bump our yearly by 50,000 or
No, they didn't. So the CPI index, even though they've given us the wrong index, it still is within the means. It was in the budget that our finance director had calculated. So there's nothing really monetarily that's changing. What's changing is the terms of the agreement. It's changing from 3 years to 5 years.
So why is that an issue for council or for you? Go ahead. Well,
Mr. Mayor, it's really just out of an abundance of caution because, as Pam said, it is a material term, and since the price went up, that's more than her authority. I thought the safest course of action would be to bring it back before you.
So would your recommendation just to do a 3-year term then instead of a 5?
No, I think a 5-year term is okay, but it's something that you would need to consider and approve.
Right. You know, I thought a lot about the amount of money, but, you know, we're talking about dispatch services. If we brought it back in-house, it would take how many people to do that, do you think, Scott? About 5 people? You know, plus we don't have the equipment probably, correct?
Correct.
So at this point, you know, it sounds like a lot of money. However, I do think we're getting a bang for our buck and we're getting a service provided that would be more costly for us to do it if we took it in-house. Would you concur, Scott?
Definitely. The largest benefit for me as the chief is the officer safety aspect and sharing a communication line with the sheriff's department so they know what we're doing at all times and we know what they're doing at all times. So if we get a call for service, if we're on our own dispatch center, they have no idea. So that's an extra phone call and line to them to call to request assistance for, you know, any specific event. With the way that we have it, dispatch directs dispatches the officers directly, and sometimes immediately with that, we'll dispatch a deputy with our officer to assist on certain types of calls.
Does the fact that Calaveras is having a hard time hiring dispatchers, I know that's a big thing, they've even just upped the hourly wages and stuff, is that gonna be a big, because I noticed, we called 911 the other day for a car accident, we were on hold for 2 minutes.
Yeah, the service doesn't change for us, like we were provided the same service that the deputies are provided. So the numbers of dispatchers they have is impactful, but it's impactful to everybody in the county. It's not like it's impactful to us specifically or anything. So we want them to have as many dispatchers as they want to have. But just like hiring officers, deputies, et cetera, the pool isn't there, and sometimes it's difficult to keep and retain staff.
And it's like a $15 an hour bump that they just put out there too.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering how that was.
I don't know what their status is. I know that they've had deputies and sergeants and, patrol personnel dispatching because of them being so low staffed with dispatchers.
Any other comments from council?
So I'm looking at item 4.4, I'm just kind of confused by the verbiage, but it sounds like if the CPI or the Bureau of Labor Statistics are going to change something, we have to go back to the bargaining table. And it says the intent is for the city to fully compensate the county for its personnel and administrative costs. So is that, what does that say?
Councilmember Beal, so my reading of this section, I too had to read it a couple of times. My understanding is that if the consumer price index goes beyond a certain amount, the parties can renegotiate the agreement if it's a material impact. So if it's more than projected, if inflation is crazy one year, whatever the factors may be, the parties can come back to the table.
Are those subjective amounts because they're not stipulated in the contract unless there's a definition somewhere else?
It's not. It would be one party arguing that there's a material impact to the agreement. So they would invoke this section to go back to negotiate.
Which would always be the county, because why would the city argue that?
Well, the city could, if the consumer price index were to jump dramatically, the city could argue for renegotiation, right?
I see. Yeah, it sounds like this is definitely slanted toward the county because the intent exists for the county to be reimbursed by the city for anything.
I would note that this is not new language, section 4.4.
Okay.
Any other comments from council?
Nope.
Any comments from the public?
They just had in the enterprise, they hired 2 new dispatchers. The county.
Yeah, and they may have to, just like anything else, it takes quite a while to get them trained up on their own to where they're actually functioning as a
They're not trained, they're not like already work dispatchers.
Most of them come with no experience
They go to
whatsoever.
the academy, yes, girls academy.
Oh, okay. So that's where they were doing new officers.
Yeah. They go through post-certification.
Okay.
They do, but it's not necessarily pre-hired.
Michelle, do you know ahead of time what the Oakland San Francisco Consumer Price Index is when you build the budget? Do you have can you get that information?
I can get through April when I'm building the budget, typically March, April, so I can see the
And
trending.
it says April, they want to use April in this
Yeah.
It
one.
says
Yeah.
1.3%.
So typically April, we're not gonna get till the end of May, beginning of June. So we're bringing the budget to you so I can throw that in, but I can look previously and do some estimates to that. So this year it was a little bit higher than what it actually came out to be, but that's just a conservative estimate to set aside money in.
Okay, good. Any other discussion?
I feel like you can hear me because anytime I ask him something, you end up saying something.
No, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be doing that, I just,
No, you're asking.
Oh, no, you're-
It's perfect.
yeah, I just want to
exactly the
refer to
question.
Michelle to make sure that we understand. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Thanks. Make it a motion.
We have one
Michelle.
online, but
And
no
none
other
online.
discussion.
Oh, we do have one online?
One jumped on a few minutes ago.
Okay. So there's been a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none. Michelle?
Behill,
Aye.
Sharado,
Aye.
Shemente,
Aye.
Scott,
Aye.
Brolio.
Okay, good. Moving on to, we've had public comment. Moving on to item 7, information items.
No information items, but I will do my report if you
Okay,
like.
moving on to item 8.
Okay. So first of all, welcome aboard to the city's new police recruit, Justin Hart, who started the academy on August 2nd. Chief, can you share more about Mr. Hart or soon-to-be Officer Hart?
Mr. Hart is a resident of Calaveras County, and he's lived here for, I think, most of his life. He's married with a child, and the academy started this is basically orientation week. He'll be attending the academy Saturday through Wednesday, every week, 8 hours a day, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. or whatever for the next 4.5 months probably. I believe he graduates in either late December or early January. So yeah, that's Justin Hart in a nutshell. But we appreciate the fact that he's local, he's not traveling out of the area.
He knows what he's getting into.
He knows what he's getting into. We had him for a few days. It was nice to have him for a few days at the police department before we started the academy to give him some of our own orientation and prepare him for the academy. But he's up and going with the academy. But it'll be, another 4.5, 5 months before we'll actually see him on the street, and then in FTO for probably at least 3 months before he's out solo by himself.
And so that will make you, once he's on board, fully staffed then?
Once he's hired as a police officer, because we have another one that's in the academy that graduates in October. Once Hart, that's minus my sergeant that just his last day is yesterday. So once we fill that position, then we'll be fully staffed, assuming we don't lose anybody in the meantime.
Okay, good. Anything else, Pam?
Oh yeah, there's quite a bit.
Okay, good.
So kudos to Public Works for wrapping up the PRV project and doing so with $434,821.90 under budget.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a $700,000 project. Perfect.
So the same great news will be shared in the July monthly report. I asked Chris to be here, but he's shy. He doesn't want. So the third news is thank you to Chief Broba and fire department team for helping our community get a step closer in making the city into a fire-wise city. Fire and administration working together with the community towards that goal. The word is spreading around more so since my office has been receiving more calls from residents regarding the Firewise program. So for the residents who are listening to the meeting, for more information regarding the Firewise program in the City of Angels, please go to www.angelsfirewise.com. You will also find the certificate of insurance there in case you wanted to provide that to your fire insurance, so that you can get your discount. And then thank you to Finance Director Michelle Gonzalez, the finance team, and AccuFund consultant Jeff Durante. Am I pronouncing his last name correctly? For working together towards the completion of the city's finance system migration through AccuFund. City staff is now able to take customer payments, right?
We are.
Okay.
Oh, good.
The staff is continuing to work on the system tweaks, and so I thank the project team for their continued diligence and for our residents for their continued patience as staff is at the last stages of finishing the project. So as Michelle had shared earlier, all these systems of efficiencies will be enjoyed and staff will be focused on a lot more work. And a couple more news. Mayor Shemente and I will be in Sonora tomorrow to sit down and interview with BJ Hansen, the news director of 1450, yep. And FM 102.7 KVML, Star 92.7, 93.5 KKBM, and mymotherload.com.
What time?
So,
What time?
they're taping
It'll
tomorrow.
be what their Sunday broadcast or online.
Yeah. So BJ recently interviewed the city of Sonora city manager and mayor, as well as the county administrator. So this interview aims to learn more on the great work and the upcoming opportunities for the city of Angels, and for BJ to share this information with his listeners. So a lot of good things for City of Angels. Next week, August 14th to 15th, Councilmember Rolio and I will be traveling to San Diego to attend and represent the city during the regular meeting of the California Transportation Commission due to the decertification of Foundry Lane, which Amy is working for the past 25 years and counting. If granted, this decertification will provide avenues for economic development, improve traffic circulation, and increase public safety due to greater accessibility. And that is it.
Thank you. Council reports. We'll start with Alvin.
As Pam said, going to San Diego next week, and that little dance Amy just did was awesome. So there's that. Also met with Scott and John Warbaugh this morning to report on that. At this moment, there's no need for an MOU at this time. Chief Warbaugh will be stepping down as of January and be City of Angels only at that time. Want to say Altaville Maloney's will provide mutual aid, training, anything they need to help and do with. Also gave John a list of some projects and different things to bring forward that me and Scott think will help the city, and with Chief, he's gonna work on those, and I'm pretty excited to hear some of those ideas and stuff he can pitch to us.
So we don't need an MOU because we already have a mutual aid agreement?
I think so,
Okay.
and it's just the chief position only. So,
Okay.
so we'll give him to that, what was that, 6 months, whatever that ended, right at the first of the year, somewhere in there, and that will end that. I also attended Utica, but I will let your board chair go over that, and if I want to kick anything else, kick it in on that.
Thank you. Carol?
You're gonna pass this one up.
We need to probably add an item on the agenda to appoint or suggest committees and other duties for Kara.
Will do.
Okay. We have a list.
I know.
All hazards. Amy.
Hey!
I thought that one was
Oh, good, but that's what I got.
Oh, I thought it was a perfect reference for me.
Scott?
Yeah, so at LAFCO, we're talking about some of the, we call it low-hanging fruit. We're talking about trying to go ahead and bring annex some of the properties that the city already owns that are outside the city limits, Capella Park, Sprayfield, that kind of stuff, and to kind of get our feet wet with this. Meanwhile, though, our general manager is in the process of leaving, and we've interviewed some qualified people to take his place, and we've narrowed it down to 2, and we'll be interviewing them again on the 18th to get that finalized. And there's probably going to be a month or 6 weeks or so overlap to make a smooth transition. In the conversation we had with John, our Fire Chief Warbaugh, and Alvin, some of the things we're really excited about. We talked about Measure A has brought in a lot of funds, and as long as our sales tax revenue grows, that thing grows, and it grows and grows. And 80% of our calls are medical in nature, and one of John's ideas is to develop a proper EMS program, and I'm really excited about that prospect to bring better service to the community. The funding will have to be worked out, but again, if the Measure A funds are growing and growing, that staffing should be available. And with fire, to have strike teams out there is really, really important to keep our guys, keep them active, keep them trained, keep them fighting fires, and also creating some revenue for us. And then the final thing we touched on a little bit was water tenders. He's going to provide some numbers for water tenders, but that's a way to bring revenue back to the city and also have available resources resource available that we don't have now. So I'm really excited, and John's on board with going forward with Angels Fire. If at some point we want to get into some agreement, further agreement or more, an MOU or something with Altoville Maloney's, that can come later, but we really don't want that holding us back right now. We don't even have a full year yet of Measure A, so to get that, to get a full understanding of what that is and how it impacts us before we go on and do something different will be important. So I think I got that about right.
Yeah, I think we nailed it, both of us. Yeah.
Perfect.
On the strike team, have we had a strike team get called out?
He's not yet. He's anticipating that happening maybe with the San Luis fire.
Right.
He's anticipating that being a possibility.
So the water tender could be there's just some really
He's got ideas.
Yeah, I mean, the water tender can bring additional revenue to the city as well.
Right.
But the strike team, we have the vehicles right here, so it's like, get them going.
Yep.
And then also, a citizen came to me and talked to me about, and I shared with Pam, the condition of the Gateway Park bathroom is horrible. Paint's chipped off, there's no water to the water fountain, there's no light fixture in there. So it's this dark concrete thing. It looks like something you'd see in a prison. And so hopefully we can get on that and get some proper repairs and bring that up to code. And also, it's not really an agenda item, but I'm requesting a detailed plan for our road maintenance system. I've been asking for this since I got on this council. It's been, 7 months now, and I get a little bit of lip service, but I have not seen any concrete evidence that our software program is running along, that we have a specific plan to get our roads fixed, and I want to get those details. I know they're working on them, I hear they're working on them, but I want to see it. And so I'm making that request. And that's it.
Did you want Gateway Park put on the agenda, or you just want them to, you just mention it?
We shouldn't have to agendize maintenance of a
No, but I think,
bathroom.
that park is sad. The whole park is sad. It should be, but at some point we should look at that whole thing.
Yeah.
About some sort of
Park person?
It's good hearing that.
And I don't know, I guess one agenda, well, we're not there yet.
Right, okay, so we had UWPA 2 weeks ago. So we were hopeful that the FERC exemption application was gonna go in when mid-July. It didn't. We had some additional reports that needed to be done for the Angels Camp hydro, and that hadn't gotten completed until now. So then it got put back to staff. Staff made their notes. They got their notes back to Stantec. Stantec just finished that. They should be getting us the final tomorrow, and it will go on Friday. We also have to we have to put that in a publication. So we're going to be putting that in the Calaveras Enterprise. So there was all this like timing and scheduling that it all had to kind of line up. So that's hopefully that's where we're at with this. We also moved forward on doing a hiring search for the new GM. We gave the interim GM that direction. There was talk about having a greater JPA meeting, which that came up in that meeting, in that line item. But what we're going to do is go ahead and agendize that for a future time to talk about just bigger issues, maybe concerns, ideas, things like that, and I specifically to the 5-year funding plan that we have that both agencies are paying into for UWPA, and then there was one other agenda item I can't remember right now.
The Angels Penstock.
Oh yeah, the Angels Penstock, and to get a presentation on the Angels Penstock, because there's some areas of it that are really, really scary, maybe-ish, and it goes through Stelty Park, so there is concern about that. If it were to bust, it would
it would absolutely affect that community.
Wow.
So those are some things that we're gonna look at. So that's all.
There was also the annual presentation from John Kaiser about the dam safety engineer. So at this moment, all of our dams are good.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing that we passed that. And there was, the discussion regarding the FERC. So just the dam safety, all of our dams are good at the moment. So.
Good. Anything else? Okay, so I did attend the CPPA meeting. I gave a brief presentation prior to the meeting because I was going to go to that meeting right after. It was on Wednesday and our meeting was on Tuesday. The main gist of it is we're in the process of amending our bylaws. We're going to move away from a ballot election to our 2 at-large and accept applications. They're also going to add some language regarding county services and what services that the JPA will receive, and remove language regarding direct access and community choice aggregation. And that is something that we've talked about previously. Our city could take advantage of community choice aggregation, which may reduce our citizens' PG&E bill. And they're still dealing with PG&E. I think everyone is trying. We're not just one organization. There's a number of organizations. The city of San Francisco is an example of one that are trying to get PG&E to develop a more user-friendly budget instead of having their budget bounce around and us making mid-year adjustments, or they're making mid-year adjustments for their transmission of electricity. Hopefully, FERC will intervene and at least we can understand what the budget's going to be and not have, as a public agency, have an increase mid-year. And the price next year is going to be 18 cents a kilowatt, which is going up, but what you do is a smart thing. You look at a 3-year average, and so we should be okay with that increase to our budget.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's all I have for right now. Correspondence? Okay, well, we do. Why don't we share the one we received from Superintendent? You want me to read it off on my phone?
Oh.
Or do you have it?
I have it.
I have it. I can read it. Dear Honorable City Council members, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to the City Administrator, Pamela, and Public Works Director, Chris O'Flynn, for their collaboration and support in repainting our crosswalks in front of Mark Twain Elementary before the start of the school year. This improvement has significantly increased student safety, and we are grateful for the restoration ahead of school start. I would also like to thank the council and congratulate those involved with the very smooth water project. These types of projects are never easy, and I was dreading that we would have ongoing disruption, especially when I had 30 days of summer school in session. Fortunately, we only had one planned shut-off for a very minimal amount of time. We appreciate the collaboration, discussion, and notification that occurred with before the project began, okay? I know we have challenges coming up with additional improvements on the main road. We look forward to ongoing partnerships. With deep appreciation, Louise Simpson, Mark Twain Union School District, Elementary School District Superintendent. So thank you, Pam and Chris, for helping her out, and we appreciated her letter. She said that she'd like to be here in present to thank us. Unfortunately, she may not be able to make our next meeting. So those are always good letters to receive. Future agenda items. Scott?
Yeah, I'd like to investigate the pros and cons of opening up Gateway Park Road between Angel Oaks and Mark Twain I'm not sure the name of that subdivision, but by the school. Even if it's opening the gate to allow golf cart access to and from. I know there might be a reason why we keep it locked down, and I don't know that, so I'd like to just investigate the pros and cons of opening that up and increase connectivity and circulation. Those are the buzzwords.
Just for golf cart?
Not just for golf carts. I'd like to see it for, just an investigate. I'd like to start investigating ways to improve the circulation there. What's that?
People use it as a walkway all the time.
Yeah, but it's wide enough for cars. It's wide enough for a road.
Yeah, but then you're gonna
to-
put golf carts on the city streets.
That's the plan.
You also don't have to go around from Greenwood either. You can come
Can
through.
you have to
Actually, we
be
should.
licensed legal?
Yeah, just for
Yeah.
future.
Yeah.
Future
That's
agenda
right.
items, yeah.
Yeah.
They- You
Future
can't have
agenda.
it, you can't do that
It should
without.
come, it needs to be addressed in a future meeting.
We can
address it
They
in the
have, I
future.
know they have to have license plate and be registered with DMV to get on the road.
I know, but we can't
We
discuss
we
it right
can't
now.
discuss it right now, it's just a
Right.
future item, but we will discuss it then.
That's future agenda.
Yes, future agenda items.
Okay.
And your
golf
detailed plan
carts.
for road.
The detailed plan for roads, I don't know if it needs to be on the agenda. We've asked for it
I thought
already.
Aaron was gonna bring it to us at the August meeting, the 19th.
They're working on it right now.
Right, because we've already allocated $300,000, right, for
We're
improvements.
gonna bring the road CIP projects that Aaron's working on.
Right,
The last time that I've heard is that Chris and Aaron have been going areas in the city and looking at each one and studying it and basically making a comprehensive list.
Yeah, so I'm looking for, because I've heard the same thing for months now, quite frankly. So I'm looking for is, what is the plan? A detailed timeline to implement the plan. And if we have to hire somebody, if there's a reason why it's not getting done, I want to know the reason so we can figure out a solution. But to me right now, and I hope to see something later in August, that'd be great. I'm excited for that. But I just need to see some progress. And I'm hearing about it, but I'm not seeing it.
do we know if the contracts have been let for the monies that was allocated last time, Michelle?
Are we supposed to be discussing this?
Yeah, we're not.
Well, I don't know, but I mean, I think it's coming up. But I understand that.
It's coming on the 14th.
You know, that's his
When
question.
we presented the
Hey, we'll have
budget,
to
we did
talk
say
about
we
where we
would
want.
bring it
That
back
is
with the CIP in August.
Okay.
And that's what
Yeah.
Aaron has calendared to get back to us, and Chris and Aaron have been working on it.
Okay,
So that was at budget time, we said we'd bring the road CIP in
right,
August.
but what I'm asking is that.
You're going down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
You're going down the rabbit hole, kid.
It's gonna be a discussion item.
Okay,
So
okay.
we'll be,
It was a previous item though on the council. Okay, all right.
Okay.
Anything else, Caroline?
I have nothing.
I don't have anything. Karen?
I have nothing.
Okay, Alvin?
Back to what I was talking about before too, I would love to get back on track of like a strategic plan again.
Yeah.
See what we have and haven't checked off the list. I don't know where we're at or where we're sitting on those. And we now have new council members that are sitting here too, that need to give their input on where we want to go as a whole group anyways, and as a big picture over the next few years. So I really would like to have that happen at some point soon too. So, and then the only thing I have is, and it's not an agenda item, everybody watch out through traffic through downtown or through town right now. It is crazy what they have going on. I'm happy to see the sidewalk. It's gonna look awesome when they're
It's
done.
9 o'clock, they're starting.
Hold on. What?
They're starting.
There's 9 o'clock. They're on the road.
But
I think it's gonna look great. It's just everybody be careful driving out there. It is absolutely nuts.
I'm
Scott.
walking home.
Yeah. There you go. That's all I got.
Okay, calendar. The one addition that I have is Scott mentioned there's a LAFCO meeting on the 18th and another LAFCO meeting on September 22nd.
Okay.
That's not on there.
Oh, hold on, 18th and when?
And September 22nd.
oh, September. We could go to September.
Could we also mention the change to the location of the farmer's
The
market?
farmer's market's moving to the park, right?
Yeah,
This Friday?
did they know that this work was being started?
I mean, I worry about parking because the parking up on the top is gonna be a nightmare.
It's gonna be,
Holy nares.
Okay. All
they'll be
right.
there on Friday. They're aware.
This
Okay.
Friday, they're going to the park.
Yeah.
I can go.
That's what they said this season they were gonna keep it at the park, or at the museum.
Yeah.
But now they're changing midway, so I don't know.
Can we vote on that? I think we,
It's a weird, I mean, I don't know why, but okay.
Hey, stop.
I'm gonna stop.
Okay, I'll go down that rabbit hole, young
I'm
lady.
stopping.
Okay.
I'm stopping.
All right, any other calendars?
Nope. Item 13.
All right.
Would you like to see September?
Look, my meetings look right.
Your meetings look right to two.
Those are the current
Cog meeting.
assignments there.
Oh, I have a, oh, good.
I don't know
Economic
if it
development.
matters, but I'm gonna be out from the 25th of September through October 2nd.
Hold on.
You're gonna be out, what?
Yeah, it's my big work event from the 25th to October 2nd.
Wow.
You can announce it right now.
Okay, at least there's
I don't
not
think you
meetings
missed
that we'll have to
anything.
cover. Well, you have COG on the first. Do I need to do COG on the first?
I can do COG too.
Yep,
Oh, me and Alvin
someone
does
needs to do
Between one and
COG.
two of us, we'll pick that mic. I'll talk to you.
Someone needs to do COG for me, thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
I might need COG.
Adjourn to closed session.
Okay, and is there any other comments, any other calendar? Well, I want to thank everyone for attending. We are now going to adjourn the closed session. Thank you for attending and safe travels home. Thank you, Amy.
I have a question.